Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the show, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a good weekend. Limited summer weekends left. But that's okay, knowing that football is on the horizon. We're not that far away, guys.
Woohoo!
Well, we're less than a month.
Wow!
We're going to work a little football in later today. We got to talk a little Detroit Lions. I want to talk about, is it Super Bowl or bust for this team? But we got to start with this Tigers team that has just been killing people since June 1st, really, if you want to go all the way back to then. But 7-2 on this road trip. Kyle, they win their 7th consecutive road series, which has tied a franchise record. 7 straight series wins on the road. Look, I really contemplated coming on here today and saying something quite irresponsible, to be quite honest, and I had to scale it back just a little bit. But I'm going to soft launch it. Soft launch the same opinion, but be able to backtrack my words a little bit. I'll tell you this upcoming week, they've got a series against Cleveland. They've got a series against Chicago. Chance to really vault yourself up the AL Central standings, in which, after this weekend, you are in second place. 3.5 out. As for the wild card, you're 1 back. You could have a wild card berth as of tomorrow. They have officially made it back into the race. I'll tell you this, with this homestand coming up, these 6 games, if they go 4-2 in this homestand, win it, Kyle, I'm going to have a really hard time containing not just my excitement that this team can make the playoffs, but I am going to tell our audience that this team can win the American League. If they can go 4-2 in this homestand, really solidify their chances of getting into the playoffs, get themselves into a position to where obviously they control their own destiny now, but like truly be in a driver's seat for a playoff berth after this homestand, I am not going to be able to resist telling our audience that I think there's a chance that this team can win the American League. That is how well they are playing right now. I mentioned 7 straight road wins, series wins, an unbelievable stat. Here's a few more for you. Plus 87 run differential in the American League. That's on the entire season. That's first. Since June 1st, they're plus 126, which is by far, by 37 runs, the most in all of baseball, not just the American League. They've been killing teams as of late. They're 36-22 since June 1st. Since that same date, they have the best team ERA in baseball, 2.93. 93 home runs since that date, most in all of baseball. .782 team OPS since June 1st. That's 4th. This team's hitting the ball well. They're pitching well. They have a 68-50 expected win-loss record, which is the best in the American League. They're playing brilliant baseball right now. And I know what you're thinking. Well, the bullpen, it's a weak point. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, but what I will tell you is Tyler Holton has a 1.98 ERA since May 1st. Okay. You start to not be able to trust Finnegan. Vest is gone. Maybe Tyler Holton's a high leverage guy. Well, what about Kenley Jansen? Yeah, what about Kenley Jansen? How about this? In his last 11 appearances, a .87 ERA? Kenley Jansen may be figuring it out in the late stages of this season. Troy Melton continues to pitch like an ace. If he was qualified, he'd be in the Cy Young competition, in the Cy Young race. Jackson Jobe hits the ground, I'd say with a brisk jog. It's not like he was sprinting, but he was running. He had some speed, hit 100 miles per hour in his first at bat against his opponent this weekend on Saturday. Like Jackson Jobe, well, look at that. Comes back and looks like the guy that was always promised us. A high leverage, ace type of guy with an elite fastball. You've got Melton, you've got Jobe as your 1-2 punch for the rest of the year. Meanwhile, Cleveland, 6-12. Minnesota, 9-9. White Sox, I have it as 10-18, but that can't be wrong, or that can't be right. All in their last 18 games. So, if they go 4-2 this weekend, not this weekend, but this upcoming week, series against Cleveland, series against the White Sox, if they can just win this homestand, go above 500, I really am going to have a hard time not feeling like not just they're going to make the playoffs, but they can legitimately do some damage in the American League playoff race, because I know Tampa's got way more wins. The Yankees, Boston, they're all way more solidified to be one of those playoff teams. Record-wise, those are the guys that are on top. Those are the three teams that have the shortest odds to win the whole thing in the American League. But if you just go back since the summer started, since June 1st, the Tigers have played like one of the best teams in baseball. The records suggest it. The stats suggest it. The pitching, the hitting, it's all there. And the sample size is beginning to be large enough to really believe in it. I'm not going to tell our audience it quite yet, but this homestand, the most impactful, most important homestand that we have the entire season up to this point, they win this, and all of a sudden, I'm not going to be able to contain my feelings about this Tigers team and what they can do the rest of the season, Kyle. I love watching this team play again, and I didn't think we would get there this year. But yet, here we are for the third time in 3 years. We've got the Tigers of two halves. First half, absolutely terrible. Second half, look at that. They're playing like one of the best teams in all of baseball, and it comes at the right time because this homestand is more meaningful than any other 6-game homestand that they have this season.
Yeah, welcome to the most important week of Tigers baseball since the Seattle Mariners series last year. Like, it legitimately is at that point right now. Specifically because they can't beat Cleveland. Like, it's just the team that they can't beat. And they haven't all year, and obviously they beat them last year in the playoffs, but in the back half of the regular season last year, Cleveland terrorized the Tigers, double sweeping them, and so including a 4-game sweep in there. Like, that's a team that they have just struggled to beat. Right now, Cleveland is playing some of the worst baseball across all of the sport right now, and the Tigers are playing great. So it's the best time to play them. But yeah, I don't think it's crazy for you to say, like, if they go 4-2 this week, if they win this homestand, then I'm convincing the audience that this team can win the American League. I think everyone's going to think that, right? Because they'll actually be in a playoff spot. They'll actually be either in the wild card or, hell, if the White Sox poop their pants against the Reds before they play the Tigers could be leading the division by the end of the week. Like, that's how crazy this week is right now, and that's how crazy good the Tigers have been playing. Going 7-2 on the West Coast trip.
It's a hard thing to do.
It's unheard of, man. Yeah, I know you didn't play the Dodgers, so you didn't play the Angels either. Like, Seattle's pretty good. You beat up on them. San Francisco, they're not great, but they had some good pitching. You won the Logan Webb start yesterday.
Yeah, that's a really good win.
Yeah, it was a great win, and they've had back-to-back like game 3s of the series, just big-time wins. And yesterday did have a little bit of like a must-win feeling to it. Obviously, if they would have lost, we would have probably still been feeling the same way today. Like, this is still the most important stretch of baseball, but them picking up that win and what they've done on the road, this team just continues to be like peak television. The script writers of a reality TV show could not do it better than this. The Tigers the last 3 years, and now post-Tarek Skubal trade, post-Casey Mize trade, they continue to just get hot and hot. They're spawning aces left and right. Like, Framber Valdez is back. Jackson Jobe, I mean, you said he was eased in. I thought it was like a spectacular outing for Jobe.
Yeah, he was great.
He hadn't had an outing longer than 5 innings in any rehab start, and he went 5 pretty easily, and it was like, should they bring him back out for a sixth?
He barely let any runners on.
I know. It was like, I thought they should have, but then it's like, okay, no, I understand. This is one of the times that I will agree with the limited pitch count here with A.J. Hinch. He hasn't had long starts in his rehabs. I get it. But it was like, he didn't have a rehab start that good. And now he's doing it in the bigs. Like, Jackson Jobe is back, and then Melton. This guy's unbelievable, man. Troy Melton, he's developing the mojo factor at a rapid rate right now.
Well, did you notice back-to-back days they had an interview with him on the broadcast Friday and Saturday night? And it was like they were just kind of picking his brain, and he felt a little bit loose. Yeah, they want to get him in the national spotlight, as they should.
They should, because he is right now the best pitcher in the American League. From how hot he has been. I understand, he's not the Cy Young. Dylan Cease has been great. Cam Schlittler, these guys rock. Troy Melton's the best pitcher in the American League right now. Since he has made his debut, he has the best ERA in the American League. The only guy that's got a better ERA than him across the entire league is Jacob Misiorowski, who, by the way, is going to win the Cy Young in the National League. So,
and I believe Melton has the best whip of anybody.
Yeah. It's crazy what he does. He just gets outs. It's that simple. He just gets outs. And the mojo thing I think is important, man. You just see it. Like when McKinstry has that gun down from right field yesterday, which shout out to Zach McKinstry, by the way.
I did not know he had that in him. I don't think anybody knew he had that in him. Dan
Dickerson didn't think he had it in him because he already wrote in a run on the Giants scoreboard.
I think that might be the best defensive play Zach McKinstry's ever made. Like, I'd put a large amount of money on that wager.
Might be the best play a right fielder has made for the Tigers all season. Like,
I think that's probably accurate.
That was awesome. And nobody was more excited than Troy Melton. Like, he is definitely already developing, like, hey, we got rid of Tarek Skubal, man. We got rid of Casey Mize. What does that mean? Like, just take a look around here. We don't need to tell it to you. You're the ace of this team. And I think that is starting to get to him a little bit in a positive way. Like, he is developing that confidence, and that he gets a strikeout. He's got that smile to him. He's got the nod. He's got the yells.
But it's not like he's trying to fill anybody's shoes. Like, no. I'm that guy now. He's just naturally become that guy because everyone trusts him in these high-leverage situations, and he's talked about it time and time again. I want to take it one pitch at a time. The previous pitch, the previous at-bat does not affect my next one. And I think people trust that intuition of his to stay calm, stay collected, to the point where his team now has so much confidence in him, and he's now allowed to, show some emotion on the mound because he knows guys are going to back him up and he doesn't have anything to prove anymore.
Yeah. And the Tigers are second in the division now. Like, how does that happen? How are they finally here? They passed Cleveland and Minnesota in the same weekend. This is unbelievable.
Both teams just ice cold. In their last 12 games, series against Baltimore, the Athletics, Seattle, and San Francisco, they have 5 wins, 5 shutout wins of 8 or more runs put up on the scoreboard. That's unbelievable. 5 shutout wins of 8 or more runs, 14-0 against Baltimore, 11-0 against the Athletics, 8-0 against Seattle, 11-0 against Seattle, Saturday, 8-0 against San Fran. This is one of the best teams in the American League as it is right now. No, they don't have the odds that reflect that in order to win the American League. It's because they haven't secured a playoff spot quite yet because of the hole that they dug themselves out of in May. If they dig themselves out of this hole, which I'm starting to increasingly feel like it is inevitable that they are going to do it, at this point, I'm going to be kind of surprised if we're not playing October baseball. I am willing to take it a step further. As long as they don't doo-doo all over themselves this upcoming homestand and take away all the momentum that they built up on a 7-2 West Coast trip, I think this team can do more than just make the playoffs. I think they could possibly win the American League, but they have to take care of business against Cleveland, who they haven't beat all year, 0-5, and the White Sox. That's what's on the line this upcoming week. What do you think they're going to do this upcoming week? What do you think they're capable of? What is this Tigers team's ceiling at the end of the day? This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Minute. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof or storm damage, the siding looking a little tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come. The 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. We talk about the game plan all the time on this show, the execution of it. That's how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth. On 100.9 The Myth.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. How far can this Tigers team go? I read you all the stats. They have been playing like one of the best teams in the American League for quite some time now, to the point where I'm now convinced that they can do some real damage in the playoffs, not just make the playoffs. That almost seems like a given at this point. But that also requires them to go 4-2 at the very least this upcoming week against
I think
Chicago.
The given word there is a little aggressive.
I do, though. Like that's the way that they're
not
playing
in the playoffs right now.
I know, but this has been an overwhelmingly large sample size that this is not that this is a playoff team. They've been playing over 600 baseball for over 2 months now, and I think I and every other Tigers fan have the right to start to have some real confidence in this team to get it done over the next 47 games, I think there is left, 46 games, to have some real confidence that they can squeak out enough wins in order to make the playoffs. Because it's not like they're just randomly winning these games like gritty Tigers baseball like they were doing a couple of years ago, where it's like, oh, one person walks with 2 outs, then they advance the runner, then there's some sort of sacrifice, and like they're not doing all the nitty gritty small balls. They're killing teams. 5 different games they've had an 8 or more to nothing shutout. They're demolishing their opponents, and they've been doing it for a while now. I think myself and a lot of other Tigers fans have the confidence that they can make the playoffs. I think if they can go 4-2 this weekend, all of a sudden the conversation shifts to, wait, what are they actually capable of once they are in a playoff spot, once they are in the postseason? And I don't know, Kyle, the way that they're playing, I'm starting to wonder what is possible. What is the ceiling for this team?
I think we have officially moved into, this is a pretty good baseball team that just so happened to win 6 games in an entire month.
Yep, and that was no Troy Melton. That was before that was when Tarek Skubal was out with an injury.
I think he went out I think he pitched for a good chunk of May, but he was just out for some of it. Like we started to realize how bad they were during that stretch. But yeah, like this is a team that is now, because for a while I couldn't get past the May stuff, right? We had talked about, well, they have to do this in June, they have to do this in July, and it played a lot into the trade deadline. And obviously it played a lot into the trade deadline because that's what Scott Harris essentially said the reason they traded Tarek Skubal was. Because they were so bad in May.
And by the way, Skubal did not pitch a game in May.
Oh, okay. Well, he hasn't pitched a game in August either.
Correct. But no Melton, no Job, no. Yeah. It was bad in May. It was bad for a lot of reasons.
It was bad.
Injuries, probably number one.
The lineup sucked, too. Like, I saw a lineup card. It was actually from Troy Melton's debut. Someone posted it this weekend on Twitter, and it was just like, oh, my God, this lineup is the worst lineup I've ever seen. We were expecting to win games that month. Mm-hmm. And so we have shifted to, hey, the record is the record. It doesn't change anything, but they have done a good job to change it. You know, like they're now 2 games below 500. You know how long of just scraping and clawing they've had to do to get to this point currently, for how big of a hole they dug themselves in May? I thought they couldn't recover from it. And up to this point, now going into the biggest stretch of baseball they've had all year, they have clawed their way all the way out.
Yeah, it's like they dug themselves to such a deep hole, and we didn't know if they could get out of it. And now they're like more than halfway out of it. You know, it's like the point where you're trying to climb out, and you got your arms above it, you got your chest above it. You're basically just, your legs are dangling.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is kind of throw your legs over the top, and you're officially out. That's what this homestand is, except it's against a team that you have not beat all year in Cleveland.
The issue, exactly. It's the team it's the guy that is standing outside the hole that is standing on your hands, and you can't grab anything, and he's preventing you from getting out of the hole.
You might have to bite him.
Like right now we're having fun, right? We're having the hunky dory. Oh, this is a great day today. Tigers West Coast trip. This is great. This is awesome. That changes tomorrow, and that changes Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, because it's officially hate week.
Ooh,
it's Cleveland. We hate Cleveland. And the White Sox, oh, fun story. Oh, they have Munetaka Murakami. Oh, they don't spend any money, but yet they're good.
Time to rain on some parades, man.
Great, man. Cleveland blows.
I hate Cleveland,
and
man.
that's why that's a sounder on there, because that's a team we despise, because they own the Tigers. We know it. We've sat here and talked about it. I'm ready for it. I haven't had that hatred yet. It's been a lot of, like, fun. Oh, this is exciting. Baseball. The Giants. Oh, it's cool to beat the Giants. The Mariners, that was kind of a rivalry, right? We hate Josh Naylor. That kind of was the intro. That was the pregame. 3-game series against Cleveland here to be followed by the division leader. I'm ready to, like, be mad watching the TV.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get into it. I'm ready to watch Steven Kwan at bats and be like, man, you are extremely likable, but I hate you.
But
Jose Ramirez, same way.
You're so great, but I hate you.
Exactly.
There is a little bit less hatred with Cleveland now that Josh Naylor is not there. I will admit, but I still
didn't matter last year in the
just
playoffs.
Don't like their team in general. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of
no
course.
Clase either. Yeah, we'll find ways to hate this team. You got a text that says, last week you guys dogged McKinstry for being the worst outfielder. Feel like an apology is in order at this point. That's from Troy. Yeah, I still think he's the worst outfielder that the Tigers have, but it is that was
it's a great play.
You know, that was like it was an incredible play.
We do owe him an apology. Yes, we are sorry, Zach McKinstry, because I don't know if Riley Green makes that play.
I don't think he does.
I don't know who else makes that play. So, yeah, 100% he earns his flowers for that.
It was right where it needed to be. It was on the money. It saved a run from coming in. I couldn't believe how perfect of a throw it was. I couldn't believe it. Now, what I was talking about with Zach McKinstry and how poor of an outfielder he is mostly like getting the ball in his glove, which I still think he is very bad at. Did not realize he had that big of a hose on him. That was an incredible play. Probably, I don't think it's the best defensive play that the Tigers have made all year. Top 5 probably. It's got to be up there.
Yeah, it's got to be up there.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll hit the news when we come back, but the Tigers, they are hot. Jackson Jobe has arrived. What a great performance from Jackson Jobe, by the way. I know we kind of talked about it, but did you see the stat that he has just as many 100-mile-per-hour pitches as Tarek Skubal does in a Tigers uniform this year?
Seriously?
1. I didn't realize that.
That's awesome.
Some other small things. Dylan Dingler has passed Yordan Alvarez as the best F-WAR in the American League. He won't win the MVP, but he could easily finish top 3 on the ballot.
Are we also rooting against the Astros? Like, do we want the Astros to kind of fall off?
Because they're in the wild card race or because of Yordan?
Well, they're in the lead of their division, but it's like, if they miss the playoffs and the Tigers make it, we're going to give that guy the MVP?
Yeah, I wonder when the last time an MVP missed the playoffs
Ohtani,
was.
Every time.
Oh. Yeah, so not that long ago.
Yeah. It happens more frequently than not in baseball, but...
Yeah, baseball's like the one sport where you can kind of accept it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just this guy's numbers
Ohtani
don't lie.
Was he supposed to carry that team to wins? You know?
Yeah. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. Locally owned, proudly family operated. That's Ace Hardware, downtown Midland. It's your go-to spot as we are now towards the end of summer. Stop in on East Main Street in the heart of downtown Midland. That's Ace Hardware, helping you get ready for the season ahead while supporting your community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back into the show, everybody. I wouldn't call it too busy of a weekend, but we still got a bunch of updates for you. So here's Kyle with the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
Yeah, it really wasn't that crazy. This is kind of the dead time of sports, right?
Yeah, August isn't great.
And everyone's just kind of waiting for football to get going once again. And obviously we have baseball going on still. But we were spoiled by a lot of early summer activities with the World Cup and
Jalen Duran
LeBron,
and Dylan Larkin and LeBron James.
Dylan Larkin, Jalen Duran, that stuff hasn't come to an end yet. We'll get some sort of answer on that at some point. Let's get into the news, though. Some huge news in the Tigers organization that doesn't come at the major league level. Wow, this is big news. Josue Briseño, the Tigers' number 3 prospect, I guess, technically.
He's number 2. Call him what he is.
Sure, Max Clark will no longer be a prospect. He's the Tigers' number 2 prospect, just behind Zaire Hope. Is going up to AAA. This guy was absolutely raking. 7 homers in 16 games? Something like that? Maybe 8 homers in 18 games?
I think it was 8 and 18.
Something like that. Just ridiculous. Now, he'd been injured for most of this season, probably for 3/4 of the season at this point. Spent a couple games at Lakeland, then went to AA, where he was finishing the season last year, and he clearly has outgrown the level because he is now in Toledo, where he has now 3 or 4 weeks to build a case to be a potential September call-up. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's probably unlikely as well, but if he rakes like he did at AA at AAA, there's really no reason not to.
Yeah, Spencer Torkelson, just be aware of the situation, my friend. You better continue to hit these home runs, or... I mean, he had a good day yesterday. I don't want to bash on him too hard, but this is kind of the whole Spencer Torkelson thing. Just when you think you're totally done with him, he heats up a little bit, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe he's not the worst hitter on the team.
We've talked about this.
In an everyday lineup.
Yeah,
and then
hits a home run once every 7 days, and then it just kind of makes you be like, oh, okay, he's worth having around.
Yeah, and he's just, in reality, one of the most replaceable guys on the entire team. Briseño, if he can bring some real power to the major league level, I think this is the ultimate replacement for Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah, Briseño, a catcher/first baseman, but it seems like they have been kind of transitioning him to be a first baseman at some point because for multiple reasons. One, there was a lot of catchers at that level in the Tigers org, but 2, of course, Dylan Dingler has emerged as an MVP candidate.
And Valencia.
Yeah, Valencia.
Well, not an MVP candidate,
Sure,
but he's around.
And it would allow you to, hey, we still have like an extra option. You know, if Valencia went down with injury or something, you have Briseño that could potentially be there as a backup catcher spot. So
yeah,
we'll see. Obviously, a lot of time till then. Max Anderson seems like the likely September call-up. He's eligible for the Rule 5 draft if the Tigers don't add him to the 40-man roster for next season. So he seems like the most likely guy to get the September call-up.
He somehow still won't get called up. It's been a year and a half of like, no, we can't trade him. He's right on the cusp.
He's
of
at a
being
900
great.
OPS plus all season long in Toledo. A right-handed bat, which I've seen that conversation as well. I know we're not getting like way too ahead of ourselves here, but
there's too many lefties.
All of the Tigers' future core pieces are lefties outside of Dylan Dingler.
No, but fortunately, McGonigal and Clark hit just as well against righties.
It's just still a ton of lefties, though. Like Riley Green, Zaire Hope, Bryce Rayner.
It's like a person who
Josue
dates a bunch of
Briseño.
blondes, man. Scott Harris has a type, and he likes what he likes.
It's like Troy Weaver liked bigs, you know?
Bigs who couldn't shoot.
Yeah, bigs that couldn't shoot.
Or dribble, or score, or rebound.
Hey, shout out Jalen Duran, though, still potentially there. You mentioned this earlier, Ben, but as far as the updated MLB awards races go, because I think we're at that point now where we're kind of just checking up on these every couple of days now that we get closer to the end of the season. Also, we're checking up on these because there are some Tigers heavily involved in this. Dylan Dingler has now moved to tied for 3rd in the MVP race. Boy, we looked the other day when we made this case of, hey, what's this guy doing as number 5? Why is he plus 10,000? He's plus 4,500 right now. His odds have been cut in half. He is tied for 3rd with Ben Rice. Just Yordan Alvarez and Junior Caminero are ahead of him, which that was mainly the case that we were making. Like, he should be top 3 MVP voting at the end of the year.
Yeah, he's not going to win it. He's just not going to. But he could easily be on the ballot as one of the top 3 guys by the time that this season is done, if he continues to keep this up. I was wondering if Tigers fans are basically like hating Yordan Alvarez the rest of the season, because the reason he's pretty much locked up MVP already, unless he gets hurt, is because he's going to be the first Triple Crown guy since Miguel Cabrera.
Could be.
Most likely
He doesn't
will
have
be.
it. I mean, I don't think it's most likely will be.
I mean, he leads all three categories in a pretty handsome
He has the
amount.
batting average. I mean, he's like the home runs. Like home runs is kind of close. He's only 2 home runs up on Junior Caminero.
True. I still wonder if Tigers fans are rooting against Yordan Alvarez in any way. 2012 Miggy, 44 home runs, 330 average, 139 RBI. 2026 Yordan Alvarez, 35 home runs so far, pacing for 48, so 4 more than Miggy. Hitting 322, so not as quite high as Miggy. And 86 RBI, pacing for 119. Not even close to as many as Miggy had. I just don't want him to. I don't want another guy to win the Triple Crown.
I don't think anyone does.
My king is Miguel Cabrera.
Paul Goldschmidt almost won it in the National League a couple years ago, and I remember that was like a big deal because it was like, oh, Paul Goldschmidt's going to win the Triple Crown? Are we just throwing around Triple Crowns now?
Yordan is a guy who would deserve it in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
but
he also deserves the MVP. He's just been a guy that has consistently been one of the best hitters in baseball and has never had the chance because he played in a league with Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani for a large chunk of time.
I just have never been a guy who is in favor of DHs winning MVP unless they do something spectacular, and
this counts
winning a
as
Triple Crown
spectacular.
I would consider spectacular. I just don't want it to happen.
I also don't want it to happen. As far as the National League MVP goes, Pete Crow Armstrong has taken the lead on Shohei Ohtani there, minus 122. So obviously still very close. Cam Schlittler, Dylan Cease continuing to go back and forth for the American League Cy Young. Ben and I were talking about this, though, before the show. Troy Melton's the Cy Young. Like, he's the real Cy Young.
He is. He's
like,
been
real
pitching better
ball
than anybody.
knowers know that Troy Melton is the Cy Young. But
Pete
who
Crow
cares?
Armstrong, by the way, F4 of 8, 1.5 better than Shohei Ohtani, who's sitting at 6.5. Dingler third in all of baseball.
Man, that is actually crazy for Pete Crow Armstrong. We
He's
just
been
got
amazing.
an update from Ian Rappaport. This will shift us to our football side of the news. After a visit with the Seahawks, former Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold will meet with the Saints today. He had also visited with the Texans, and other teams are trying to get him a visit throughout training camp. So Terrion Arnold likely going to get signed by someone.
Why is it that he's visited so many teams and not a single team has been like, you know what? I'm in. I want to bring him in. He's had visits with 4 different teams, hasn't he?
I have a potential reason.
Because
I don't know
he's
if you
under
heard, but
federal
back
investigation.
in February, there was this thing that happened with him that I think is kind of a bigger deal than most things.
Yeah, but even besides that, obviously that's a pretty.
I think that's the number one reason why.
That's not a good
I
starting
don't really
point.
think you could say besides that.
Well, if he was phenomenal and you trusted what he was saying, I think there would be let's monitor the situation. But the Lions were so quick to get rid of him too, because I think the coaching staff, even without all of this, was a little bit fed up with Terrion
Shepard
Arnold.
said he had the potential to be a CB1 in this league.
He also told him to shut up and play football. That was way before any of this came out.
It does make you the classic question of if Terrion Arnold was better, would they have cut him? If he was a top 10 corner in football, would they have cut him? If he was
Probably
Devon
not.
Witherspoon, would they have cut him?
But then you can get into the question of, is Terrion Arnold not a top 10 corner in the sport because he lacks the understanding of what it takes to become one of those guys?
Sure. I mean, that could be the case. I just wonder, as a team and a franchise like the Lions that represents themselves on culture and character and everything like that, how far does it go, depending on what type of player it is? Like Cam Sutton, oh, we're going to get rid of that guy. Yeah, he sucked. It probably helped that they got rid of him. I do want to go one more thing back to the Tigers because we've been doing a lot of positive Tigers news here. Well, the Tigers winning has helped shade one thing. Riley Green in his last 4 series.
Oh, I'm going to cover my ears. I don't want to hear this.
Yep, a 167 batting average with a 568 OPS, 15 strikeouts in just 11 games played for Riley Green.
You know what I've realized
Been
too?
pretty bad.
we're friends with Chris Castellani. He comes on the show about once a
He
week.
hates Riley Green.
He hates him. I hate it. He's
Did
like
you see
number
his
one
tweet the other day?
He's like number one propaganda pusher for anti-Riley Green. I hate it so much.
He did the whole like Moneyball thing where it's like, here's
I
this
know,
guy,
I
3-time All-Star. He's a pretty good left fielder. He's got an 800 OPS. Here's the issue: he stinks.
I think he said he sucks, which is even worse than stinking.
It is worse than stinking. Yeah. So I don't know. Obviously,
He's got to heat up. He
He's gotta
can't
heat
have
up.
another stinker playoffs.
them
It
playing
can't happen.
good. Them playing good has helped hide this. Let's do one more thing in the news because this was bigger news. I did want to hit this at the beginning of the show. Teddy Bridgewater is retiring from the Lions. The backup quarterback who has retired a few times now. Seems like this is finally it. Dan Campbell announced that yesterday. He's stepping away. No clue what that means as far as anything going on in his personal life, but it's just probably time for Teddy Bridgewater to be done. And quickly, a corresponding move made from the Lions. Josh Dobbs, the Pastronaut, is joining the Lions quarterback room to potentially become the backup.
I have a couple of notes here. One, I think it is credit to Jared Goff he has entered the territory in which it doesn't matter who the backup is. If our quarterback gets hurt, our season is over. Like, that goes without saying.
Yeah. Backup quarterback, one of the more over-talked about things in football. Like, it doesn't really matter.
I agree with that. If you have an elite quarterback, it doesn't matter. Now, if your quarterback is Bryce Young, yeah, maybe you want to have a better backup quarterback and, having Andy
Your season's
Dalton
already
last year.
over because you have Bryce Young.
Correct. Like, if you have C.J. Stroud, have a backup quarterback. Oh, Davis Mills, he's pretty good. He's shown he can play football. If you have one of the top 10 quarterbacks in football and your quarterback gets hurt, which the Lions do, your season's over regardless.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you have a pretty good backup quarterback. My whole take is pretty good backup quarterbacks don't exist. They're backup quarterbacks. Like, they would be starters if they were good. What is this whole take of you got to have an elite backup quarterback?
There's no such thing as an elite
one.
backup quarterback.
Yeah.
I think there is like a group of like 5 to 6 quarterbacks any given year where it's like, oh, these guys are probably the best backup quarterbacks in the league.
Sure.
I think Teddy Bridgewater was that for a while. I just have no idea if Teddy Bridgewater had to play, if he would have been good or
yeah,
not.
well,
Because we haven't
Bridgewater
seen him
felt
play
more
in a
so
long
like
time.
he brings more from a like coaching perspective than anything.
Yeah.
Bridgewater's a guy that people say he's going to coach in the NFL.
But
Like, that's his
luckily,
thing.
with Jared Goff, he has had 4 straight seasons of playing 17 games. Like, that is something that should be hanging his hat on, that he has been able to stay healthy
a lot
for
of
so
QBs
long.
can't do that. So what group does J.J. McCarthy fit in for the backup quarterbacks?
I don't know. Somewhere between the 15th and 20th best
Because like there's
backup
elite
quarterbacks.
backup quarterbacks, and what is he?
Is Davis Mills considered the best backup quarterback in the NFL right now?
I don't know.
Mitch Trubisky, maybe?
Yeah, there's some pretty good options.
I think for a while it was Minshew.
Is it Beck now?
Beck?
Carson Beck.
It could be. Is it Haynes King? I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious. I would imagine Josh Dobbs wins the backup quarterback job over Luke Altmaier, but Dan Campbell seems to like Luke Altmaier, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. Maybe
Josh
they end
Dobbs
up
was
keeping
cool,
3
though, man.
quarterbacks on the roster.
He was a cool guy a couple years ago. Fun story.
Yeah, he went 1-7 in those 8 starts with Arizona, with Drew Petzing, by the way, which should be noted. But the stats weren't all that
Minnesota
terrible.
was fun too.
Yeah, I think he went 1-3 with Minnesota too. Like, he just doesn't
Yeah,
win
you're
games,
not gonna,
but the stats
like,
are fine.
That once again goes, you're not going to win games with your backup quarterback. He was just fun to watch, is all I was saying.
It was like a Linsanity run, to be honest, except they just weren't winning. Who has retired more times, Teddy Bridgewater or Tom Brady?
Got to be Bridgewater.
He's retired like 4 times, I think.
I know. He's like, it continuously comes out of retirement every year.
Yeah.
Like he might do the same thing next season.
He's going to rejoin the Lions at the end of this year. He's like, Dan, you know what? I'll be your backup quarterback. in
He
the
might.
playoffs."
Like he legit might.
We've already seen it once.
I would love if he did that.
I think
love
Brady
Bridgewater,
did
man.
get up to like 3 or 4 different pump fake retirements.
Well, he for sure did twice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was maybe one more time where he was like, I'm going to...
Yeah, now he fights Logan Paul and is the owner of a team that has their quarterback fighting their star defensive player. Great stuff, Tom Brady.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Golfers, look no further. I've got a new place for you to play. It's Apple Mountain in Freeland, where every round comes with a side of scenic perfection, championship-level course, beautifully maintained, and just the right mix of challenge and fun. When you've wrapped up 18, head to the Apple Mountain Restaurant, the perfect place for casual elegance and spectacular views. Whether you're playing for score or just soaking in the atmosphere, Apple Mountain is your place to unwind, recharge, and enjoy the game. That's Apple Mountain and Freeland, minutes away but miles from ordinary.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, we're going to get to a Lions conversation here to lead off the 10 o'clock hour about our expectations for them going into the season. This is kind of a segue into that. Since we were talking about what our expectations are for the Tigers the rest of the year, what is more likely? The Tigers win the American League or the Lions win the Super Bowl? And I don't think it's fair to go Tigers World Series or Lions Super Bowl because I think the Dodgers are they're just going to cakewalk their way to another World Series and three-peat, so I think the standards are a little bit different. So what do you think is more likely? Tigers win the American League or Lions win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but imagine Max Clark homer off Scooble in the World Series, though.
In the last baseball game ever?
That would be crazy.
The fact that the Dodgers are plus 150 to win the entire to win the entire World Series is insane.
It's ridiculous.
There's
Obviously,
week one lines that have longer odds than that in the NFL.
From an odds perspective, the easy choice here would be the Lions winning the Super Bowl, right?
Well, just what do you think?
I think probably Tigers American League.
Really?
I think so. Now, obviously, is this what's more likely or what happens first? Because the what happens first perspective gives the advantage to the Tigers.
I think it's what's more likely.
Yeah. Tigers, okay, so here's the issue. When you do this exercise, you have to think of the other teams that are in consideration. Now, the Tigers American League race, it gives them the huge advantage because they only have to deal with the American League, whereas the Lions have to deal with every single team. Like, this is the Lions winning the Super Bowl, right? Not the Lions getting to the Super Bowl?
Correct. The Lions are they're 18-1 to do that. To win just the American League, the Tigers are 22-1. So they think it's more like Vegas thinks it's more likely that the Lions win the Super Bowl.
Which I think that's what I would have guessed. As far as other teams in the American League go, you have to figure out, is there more threats to the Tigers or more threats to the Lions? There's clearly more threats to the Lions.
Yeah. I think that's true. How many teams can realistically beat the Lions, though, in a playoff game in the NFC? I think it's Seattle. I think it's the Rams.
How many teams can realistically? I mean, a lot of them could.
I don't know. I think there's less than 5 teams in the NFC that could beat the Lions. I really believe that.
And then all the AFC teams that get to the Super Bowl, obviously.
Sure. That's where it gets a little bit of a fuzzy conversation.
And then when you go back to the Tigers, it's like, okay, yeah, I think the Red Sox, the momentum that they have built in this entire back half of the year, that's a team they should fear if they had to play in the playoffs. No doubt about it. The Yankees, when fully healthy, when Aaron Judge is back, yes, he has never been a great playoff performer, so maybe you shouldn't be scared of them. They still have a pretty awesome starting pitching rotation. I would probably not want to play them. And then other than that, you're like, am I supposed to be scared of Houston? Am I supposed to be scared of the Rays? The Tigers swept the Rays when they were terrible. Like when the Tigers were terrible, they swept the Rays on the road. I don't think I'm scared of them. They did do a little bit of a buy at the deadline, which was nice to see out of them. But there's 2 teams I'm for sure like, yeah, that team, you probably don't want to play against them in the playoffs if you're the Tigers. And that's the Yankees and Red Sox. And even the Yankees are like a toss-up.
Can I flip that? If the Tigers keep playing like this, they actually might become the team that everyone's like, I don't really want to play that team going into the playoffs, because if they keep playing like this, they are so hot. They do have 2 phenomenal pitchers at the top of, well, I guess we'll stick with Troy Mellon as a phenomenal pitcher. And then they have Framber Valdez, who's heating up, and they also have Jackson Jobe, who's this tremendous wild card factor going into a playoffs in which he has some experience. What if the Tigers are actually the team where it's like, I don't really want to play that team the way that they're playing? I think that's very much on the table.
The Red Sox should have to cool down because they've kind of owned that title now.
For sure.
But, I mean, there's plenty of season left. There's a month and a half left to go here, a little bit more than that as well. So they could cool down. They're probably locked into a playoff spot. But, yeah, it all comes back to what the Tigers do this week. If they launch themselves into a playoff spot, by the time we're doing this show next Monday, they're going to continue to own that title of the hottest team in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Just got to go 4-2 this week. That's really all it comes down to. Win this homestand. Have more wins than losses, and all of a sudden you're going to be in a driver's seat to make the playoffs with about 40 games left when this is done. 1 week from now, there's going to be about 40 games left. and we're going to be talking about the Tigers in the driver's seat. That's my prediction from 1 week from now if we're hopping in the time machine. Beep, boop, boop, boop. There we go. All right. We'll totally shift gears here and go towards the Detroit Lions and our expectations for them when we come back. If you're looking for something fun to do right here in mid-Michigan, Go Great Lakes has you covered. From festivals, live music, outdoor ventures, great food, and family-friendly events, GoGreatLakesBay.org is your one-stop guide for the Great Lakes Bay region. Whether it's a last-minute idea or a weekend plan, get out, explore local, and go Great Lakes. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Blazy Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Lot of buzz for the Detroit Lions heading into this season. You know, it's interesting because we just talked about their Super Bowl odds being 18-1, which is like the 11th best odds. The Rams, the Bills, the Seahawks, the Ravens, the Texans, the Patriots, the Chargers, the Eagles, and the Chiefs all have shorter odds to win the Super Bowl than the Detroit Lions. Interesting, because they have the third shortest odds to make the playoffs at minus 210. So essentially what that tells you is Vegas thinks they're going to make the playoffs, but they're not a Super Bowl team necessarily. I totally disagree with that second part. I do think they are almost a lock to make the playoffs because they have the easiest schedule in the NFL going into the season. Number one strength of schedule in terms of how easy it should be. I mean, look at the quarterbacks that this team is going to end up playing. Tyler Shook, okay. Josh Allen, sure. Geno Smith, Bryce Young, Jacoby Brissett, Malik Willis. Like, it's bad. Tua Tagovailoa. They don't play all that many great quarterbacks at all. They play a bunch of crappy defenses as well and a bunch of teams that did not make the playoffs last season. So I do think they are going to be in contention to win the 1 seed. If that was something that you could bet on, I would be doing it. I think this is a 13-14 win team at the end of the day. But what are our expectations going into this season? Is it a Super Bowl or bust type of year for the Lions? Like I said, easiest schedule. Third shortest odds to make the playoffs. They are projected to have the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL per RotoWire heading into the year. Jahmyr Gibbs is the favorite to win the Offensive Player of the Year. The offensive line should be a step better with Blake Miller and Cade Mays as upgrades over Taylor Decker and Graham Glasgow. Jameson Williams has dominated camp. I really do think he's going to launch himself into being one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver 2s in the NFL. In the past 5 years, they've finished 5th, 1st, and 4th in scoring past 4 years. And now they make all these upgrades, and all their players are continuing to get better. I do think this has a very good chance of being the number 1 scoring team in the NFL this season. And if that's the case, all the defense has to do is be average, and they're going to be in contention to win the 1 seed. They've got Aiden Hutchinson, who's got the 3rd shortest odds to win the Defense Player of the Year after a 14.5 sack season last year. Lee McNeil, another year removed from his ACL injury, expected to be more impactful. Jack Campbell coming off an all-pro season. Brian Branch should be rejoining this team by the back half of the season. This team has stardom at all 4 levels or all 3 levels of the defense. On top of what should be the number 1, number 2, number 3, somewhere in that range, scoring offense in the NFL. We are now 3 years removed from the infamous NFC Championship game. So with that being said, is anything short of a Super Bowl success for the Detroit Lions this year? Or have they now reached it is Super Bowl or have a failure of a season? Because I think that's where I'm at. I think the expectations are so high for me going into this year. Not just because of what's at stake and all this contracts. No, I just think they're going to be another phenomenal regular season team. But it can be more than that this season. It can be beyond just a regular season team. I do think it's Super Bowl or bust. If they made another NFC Championship game, it'd be disappointing. If they, and didn't win it. If they made the Super Bowl and lost, obviously, it would be disappointing. I think the only way that this Lions season is a success is if they win the Super Bowl. And I think that is a privilege to have that type of pressure on you because it means there are some real expectations for your team heading into the season. Do you align with this?
So you're telling me a team that has never made the Super Bowl, the only way the season is successful is if they win the game they've never been to.
That's what I'm telling you.
So if they made it and lost, it's not a success. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, because the goal is not to make it to the Super Bowl. The goal is to win the Super Bowl. Now, if they made it to the Super Bowl 2 years ago or 3 years ago in the NFC Championship game that they lost to the 49ers, if they would have made the Super Bowl that year and lost, I think that season would have been a success.
That season was a success in general. They made it to the NFC Championship game.
I agree with that.
They won 2 playoff games.
I agree with that. And now that we're 3 years removed from that and still haven't got back, I think there's a little bit of an upped pressure of like, hey, man, anything short of winning the entire thing at this point is considered a failure. They have to get over the hump. They got to do it. And they're going to have a couple different years to do that. It's not like this is like, oh, the window's closed after this season. I hate that narrative because we do it at the end of every year. It's like, guys, they're just going to run it back next year and have a very similar team and be better. But I do think that heading into this season where you're projected to have 12, 13, 14 wins because of the strength of schedule, you got to be able to deliver in the postseason. And I think the only way to do that is to win a Super Bowl. I don't want to be bounced out of this thing prior. Obviously, that goes without saying. But I do think, like, this isn't me saying, like, oh, if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's a total fit. This is me saying I think they're that good. I think this team is going to be that good this season to the point where anything short of Super Bowl by the time we get to January would suck, would be a gut punch because of what we've seen this team put on display for 17, 18 straight weeks. it is a blessing to have this sort of pressure on you. I'm not telling you it's a failure because they've been so close, and if they don't get it, no. What I'm saying is this team is good enough to win the Super Bowl, and that should be everybody else's expectation and hopes for this team. That's my expectation for them this year, is that they are contending to win the Super Bowl, and nothing short of it.
Well, I do think that as far as a season-by-season basis, if the Lions had a chance to win the Super Bowl, this one has got to be as high as ever. Now, obviously, they're coming off of an 8-9 season, so it's tough to say that from a team that didn't, or they went 9-8 last season, but missed the playoffs. You know, a team that missed the playoffs last year, we're saying this is their best chance to win the Super Bowl. That's kind of tough, especially in a league that has the reigning Super Bowl champs in Seattle that essentially ran it back, and now the LA Rams were the overwhelming favorite to win the whole thing. You play in the same league as those two teams. You know, that's a little bit tough. But from the schedule perspective, 1,000%. The schedule's going to be there. And I think it's fun to compare that to the scheduled team from last year, which just so happened to make the Super Bowl in the New England Patriots. They were the scheduled team. Oh, they're pretty good, but the schedule. Are we going to be having the same conversations when the Lions are 5-1 at the bye?
No. You want to know why?
Why won't we, though? Why won't we be having the same conversation?
Because the Lions are going to be stuffing teams into a locker and shaking it until the teams are all concussed.
And who are those teams again? The Jets, the Cardinals, the Dolphins?
The Saints. Those are your first 5.
And if you lose the Bills game and then beat all those other teams, that's going to be the conversation.
Sure.
Oh, they're pretty good, but the schedule.
People have the conversations. I'm
just saying. And but this is the point I'm trying to make. The same team that conversation was being said about last year made the Super Bowl, went to the Super Bowl in the Patriots. Who did you feel better about? The Lions going into this season or the Patriots going into last season?
The Lions going into this season.
It's not even a question. Now, obviously, they had a lot of guys Drake May was an MVP candidate. Like, no one was expecting that to happen.
Correct.
But still, I would say the Lions roster going into this season, you felt way better about than the Patriots roster going into last season.
Correct.
Like, no doubt about it. So you have that factor. You have the factor that literally everybody is paid right now. And you say, yeah, there's no windows in the NFL, and at some point we still have to see Brad Holmes not extend a guy for it to actually happen. But they've given out $1 billion in extensions. That's not me being hyperbolic. They literally have.
Yeah.
At some point, they're not going to be able to pay Brian Branch and Sam Laporta, or they're going to have to trade away some of these guys. And so the fact that all of that nucleus of blue chip players that you have are on the team right now, and there's no contract extension talk about Laporta or Branch as far as them not willing to play if they don't get one. It was just Gibbs. Boom, you paid him. All of that is set in stone as well. So you have that added in with the schedule factor. Yeah, there should be expectation for them to be one of the better teams in the NFC this year. So I don't disagree with you there. But for it to be Super Bowl or bust for a team that's never been to the game, that feels a little crazy.
It does. This is more so just to tell the audience, like, that is where your level of thinking should be. It shouldn't be like, oh, man, I hope we get back into the playoffs and win a playoff game. No. Aim higher than that. This team has the roster to do so. If we want to go, like, 1-for-1, who's got the best players, the Rams or the Lions? I think the Rams win the first few rounds. I think the Lions have more depth in their entire, like, they've just got more talented players across the board. The Rams have the black chippers, but I think the Lions have the more blue chip players.
The tough part was last season, the Lions, and they had a lot of those guys in that game as well. They lost to all of the good teams.
That offensive line.
Do we think it's going to be awesome this year? I
think it's going to be a significant upgrade over Graham Glasgow's dead body and Taylor Decker's playing on one leg half the time.
But we just got to a point last season. It was like, okay, all of the elite teams, if you want to consider yourself a Super Bowl team, like, you have to beat the elite teams, of course. Kansas City, Philadelphia, Green Bay, Rams. You lost 4 games to those teams in the middle of the season before we really knew that the Lions weren't good, you know?
Yeah. You also were missing Laporta. You were missing Kirby and Bryan in the second half of the season as well. They just, again, they got banged up, and now it's just a matter of, can they stay healthy, which is somehow now a real question that Lions fans have to ask themselves going into a year. Can they get through an entire season with all of their blue chip and Pro Bowl guys healthy? Because right now the answer feels like no. which is a very unfortunate feeling to have going into it.
And I do hate to play the luck factor, but a lot of the Lions beat guys will like to tell you that, that you ever seen the luck stat? Like they've essentially been a bottom 5 team in luck the last 2-3 seasons.
Injury luck?
Just for it factors in everything. Injuries are a large percentage of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully you get a little bit luckier this year. They already technically are getting luckier with their schedule.
Yeah, I think that's the number one thing they have going for them.
1,000%.
Because it's not like the Patriots were winning these games, but it's not like they were dominating them. They were just stacking wins. I think the Lions get back to what they were doing in 24 and just oh, yeah, here's another week where the Lions won 37-6. Oh, look at that. Last week they won 37-6. Now they won 45-9. They're just destroying.
I mean, the
teams.
schedule's so bad that we've pointed out a couple of pockets of games that we're I don't know. This 3-week stretch is tough. It's look at last year's schedule. They had a 3-week stretch that was tough every week. Every 3-week span was tough.
Mm-hmm. And things can change. It's not like by the end of the year we'll look back and be oh, the Lions have the easiest schedule. It probably won't end up being like that. But going into the year, there's just not a lot of how many true Super Bowl contenders do you think the Lions play this season?
Actual contenders to win the Super Bowl. You got Buffalo in week 2.
Yep.
I think you have to count Green Bay.
Fine.
So you have
I don't like it, but I'll do it.
Unless we don't want to count the division games in general because they're division games.
Yeah, let's outside of the division.
Sure, that's fair. Now they do play in one of the better divisions, but sure. New England, we're considering them a Super Bowl contender, right? They made it last year. It's a weird game. It's in Germany. I don't know if it necessarily even counts.
And sorry, I'm just not doing it with Tampa.
No, I'm not. I don't think you're offending anyone.
And that's it.
That's it.
What
about the Giants, though?
Get out of here, dude. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's it. And Buffalo is the true, real one. It's just so early. What do you got? Bad news?
We've already got an injury.
Is it bad?
Cade Mays has a wrist injury, and he's expected to be out a while.
Oh.
A significant amount of time.
A serious wrist injury.
We're going to bring back Dan Campbell audio when we come back from this break.
No.
You've got to be kidding me, man. Never mind.
No.
They're going to win 8 games.
Yeah.
8 games.
Super Bowl or bust. They've already busted.
This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. The 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Aaron Insurance. They're all about putting you in a better insurance position, whether it's your home, auto, life, or business coverage. They make sure your protection actually fits your life. If you're looking for a team that takes the guesswork out of insurance, this is it. Be sure to go follow Aaron Insurance Group on social media to stay connected every single day. Hey, quick heads up to all the parents and athletes out there. If you've got kids getting ready for spring sports or summer sports or, hell, fall sports, Great Lakes Spine and Medical has you covered with sports physicals. They make the process easy, stress-free, no long waits, no bouncing all over town. Plus, you're not just checking a box. Their medical team looks at the overall movement, flexibility, and injury prevention to help athletes stay healthy all season long. Whether it's school sports, travel teams, or rec leagues, Great Lakes Spine and Medical is a great local option to get it done right and on time. Appointments are easy to schedule. Get those physicals done now and be ready for game day.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. Built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, it's already happening. We've got a couple different injury updates. Here's Dan Campbell on the most significant one, Cade Mays.
Cade Mays had a wrist injury. He will be out for a significant period of time. All right, he will be back for the season at some point, but it'll be down the road.
What does that mean? Give us a time. I can't stand when coaches give these vague updates.
Well,
or
he
it's
probably
like,
doesn't know. I mean, it just happened.
I know. It's just that is so frustrating to go into a season having no clue when your starting center is going to be back. Because I hear that and I'm like, oh, he's missing at least the first couple weeks of the regular season without a doubt. Like he's going to be out.
I think more than that.
Yeah.
A significant amount of time, and he says he'll be sometime in the regular season down the road.
Play it again.
I think much more than that.
Let's dissect the tone. Play that one more time.
Cade Mays had a wrist injury. He will be out for a significant period of time. All right, he will be back for the season at some point, but it'll be down the road.
It'll be down the road. Like, we don't think he's going to be missing, like, the first half of the season, right? I think it's all speculation at this point.
If a significant wrist injury, what else could it be other than breaking his wrist?
A wrist sprain? I don't know if that qualifies as significant.
To miss a large chunk of the season?
I mean, if it's a bone thing, I'd rather it be a bone thing than something else. Because usually you can come back from that and just be yourself. But, guys, that's the biggest signing that the Lions had this offseason. 3 years, $25 million. It's the only multi-year deal that the Lions handed out to anybody in free agency. That was the reason that this offensive line was supposed to take a significant step forward. Now they're going to have some other version of a corpse running around at center. Like, look, Drew Scruggs has been great in terms of in camp being able to rep anywhere. He's repped, I believe, all 5 spots of the offensive line, or maybe that was Frazier. But, certainly the interior spots, Drew Scruggs is capable of taking over as a starter. But, it's not Cade Mays. Cade Mays was given $25 million to be the starting center. Drew Scruggs was traded for David Montgomery. Why is this already happening? Now I'm worried about Jared Goff getting pressure from up the middle already. Now I'm worried about Jahmyr Gibbs not being able to run up the middle on 4th and 1. Look, there's other people on the roster that it would have been worse news to hear that from this morning, but it's up there for one of the, in terms of the non-Pro Bowl guys.
I was just going to say, for non-superstars, I mean, he might have been the top guy.
Yeah. Cade Mays might have been the number one guy where,
why were we most excited about this year being different than last year?
The offensive line getting better.
Yeah, it's like him and Blake Miller, essentially.
And they did say Blake Miller would be starting. Here's what we got from Dan Campbell's press conference. Cade Mays out for a significant amount of time. Isaiah Pacheco sprained MCL, I believe is what I saw.
Yeah.
But should be good by the time the regular season rolls around. And the last thing is Blake Miller is expected to play a little bit on Thursday for their first preseason game, which by all means, get him some reps. Don't have him out there for more than a couple drives, but get him some reps. Oh, I can't believe that this is already happening. Why? Just as we were talking about this team having to be healthy, we get the update that Cade Mays is going to be out for the first few weeks of the season. Now, luckily, it's not like they play some like nasty defense for the first few weeks, unless you're afraid of Aaron Glenn. No? Although Carolina does have Derek, what's his name? Not Derek Moore.
Brown.
Derek Brown. Yeah, that's one of the better defensive tackles in the NFL, probably lining up over the center. This is just such unfortunate random news to get on Monday morning. It's not what I wanted to hear from Dan Campbell, you know? Not at all what we wanted to hear from Dan Campbell this morning. That's so unfortunate. Does that change your thoughts on any of these games going in? Like, let's say he doesn't come back before the
Super Bowl
bye.
or bust thing, right? We just already did that.
Now, fortunately, I will say this is where I can provide some insight and provide some still like half glass full optimism. If he's going to miss all the games before the bye, they're still going to be favored in 4 of the 5 of them. Buffalo will be the only game in which I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. And if you want to write in Buffalo as a win, okay, whatever. It's not like their defense has been all that great the last couple of years anyway, especially their defensive front. So
certainly won't be favorites to win the game.
I don't think so. But you still, even without Cade Mays, should beat the Saints. You should beat the Jets. You should beat Carolina, and you should beat Arizona. Because those are some of the worst teams in the league outside of Buffalo. So I still, like, even with Cade Mays being out for a significant amount of time, I still would think that the Lions should be able to go 4-1 in that stretch. If Drew Scruggs, as long as Drew Scruggs isn't like a dead guy, as long as he's not Graham Glasgow from last year, which I think the combination of you and I could have filled in for Graham Glasgow last year.
I mean, we're talking about Drew Scruggs to save the Lions season right now.
Drew Scruggs,
in
baby.
August. I mean, how this is crazy. We're already having this conversation. It hasn't even started. This is terrible.
How does this happen every year? It's the worst part.
You know what we might have to do, Ben? Still August. It's still relatively early. We got a guy on the West Coast that's talking about maybe returning to his team in Aaron Donald.
Don't say call Frank Ragnow.
Maybe the
We already
Lions
tried
got to
this.
give Frank Ragnow another ring.
He tried to come back and had his hamstring was basically
but he wasn't ready. He's had the whole summer. He's got another month here.
His hamstring was basically falling off the bone. Like we were at a smoke place.
Oh, the smoke place.
Yeah, the smoke place. The smoked barbecue place. I don't know, man. This is not a good kickoff to the season here on the first week.
Ryan in the YouTube chat says, "Get ready to relearn Tristan Colon." Yeah, I remember him playing last year. That was pretty rough.
This feels like the worst way to kick off the first week of preseason for the Lions.
Feels like everyone is feeling the same way. Art says this changes everything, unfortunately. It does.
In a way, yeah.
There's your YouTube thumbnail.
What, Cade Mays?
This changes everything.
Unfortunately,
sucks.
I don't think the Cade Mays content is going to do all that well on YouTube. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll take a trip around the league, a little fantasy football edition when we come back. Looking for a great meal in hometown hospitality? Stop in A&W in Midland, where you'll find delicious burgers, famous root beer made fresh daily, crispy pies, and family-friendly service that keeps customers coming back. Whether you're grabbing lunch, dinner, or a sweet treat, A&W in Midland is proud to be serving the Great Lakes Bay region.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
We did get a time frame, Ben. Ian Rappaport tweeting that a source says 8 to 10 weeks expected for the Cade Mays injury.
Well, that actually does put them at about the bye week, right? It's not like it's 8 to 10 weeks once the season starts. I mean, they have a month before they start play. So there's 4 already. And then you have 5 more until the bye. So I think that's kind of a safe assumption.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about it. 8 to 10 weeks in my head. I was thinking weeks 8 through 10 in the football season. But yeah, you're right. I guess I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, we got another month until football actually starts. So that would mean, I would say that probably means he's not playing before the bye, which is their easiest 5 games of the season, I would say, right? Easiest 5-game stretch with Buffalo's in there.
It's just the beginning of the year. It's such a crappy way to start the season. Like, at least all the injuries for us have come in the back half of the year where those are kind of expected. To have one this impactful, I don't want to say this huge of an injury, but it certainly is very impactful on the team.
The best way to put it is it's perhaps the best, the number one person who could not have gotten hurt who's not already a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other guy, which makes things really difficult.
Even like J-Mo. Honestly, J-Mo's obviously a better player, but they could survive without J-Mo.
Yeah, 5 weeks without J-Mo, they're not going to lose every game. Like, this heavily impacts Jahmyr Gibbs. This heavily impacts Jared Goff. Like, this changes.
Oh, you mean the two
changes
most important guys on the team?
Yeah, like this truly does change everything, which is really tough. Your boy Jeremy Reisman, by the way, tweeted, "How's that hamstring, Frank?" That's all I'm saying, man.
Like brisket.
Which it would be good to get him now, right?
Yeah.
We don't need you at the end of the year. Like, we just need you for 4 weeks. If you tear your hamstring in week 5, okay, Cade Mays is back.
Yeah, can you play 5 games?
He's the sacrificial center. Yeah.
Maybe he would do it. Yeah, maybe it is worth giving him a call. All right, let's take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, Kyle, I got some fantasy football for you. I'm not a redraft person. I don't typically do a redraft league. Maybe I get roped into one and then I end up regret doing it. I'm a big dynasty guy, but this is for redraft fantasy football leagues because I know those drafts are starting to happen, or at least the homework is starting.
Still the most common type of league as well.
Correct. The homework has really started to
I've been diving in, man. I've been diving in. I was here the other night, late night. There was a delay in the Loons game. You know what I did? Mock draft. Mock draft. Get through 2 rounds, boom, redo it. Run it back.
It's always great when your mock draft, like when you actually get to your draft and it goes exactly the way you want it to.
It never does, though.
Well, that happened to me last year in the redraft league I was in, and then 2 guys just instantly got hurt, and my team was just like, that's why I don't like redrafts all that much. If one of your top 2 picks gets hurt, you're just done. Your season's over. It's frustrating.
It is frustrating.
So here's what I have. This is ESPN's list of do not draft these guys, no matter what. So I'm not even including the ADP. I'm not including their position
Yep.
rankings from last season. This is ESPN's just straight up do not draft this guy list. And I'm going to say the guy. Let's say whether or not we agree with this or not.
Got it.
Number one person, quarterback, Josh Allen. ESPN says no matter what.
He's on do not draft.
ESPN says no matter what, you're reaching too high for him. Take a running back or take a receiver early on and then worry about the quarterbacks later.
Wrong.
I totally disagree.
Wrong.
Josh Allen wins you leagues.
Josh Allen has finished as a top 2 quarterback the last 5 fantasy years.
And guess
5 years in a row, he's top 2.
And guess
they
what
score
position
the most
scores
points.
the most points? Exactly.
No, Josh Allen, you can never, unless you're taking him in the first round, you can never reach too high for him. I think building a team around Josh Allen in fantasy is such a smart strategy to take because he's always going to be a guy that people want to trade for as the season goes on. It's like, oh, my team is complete. I have great receivers, great flexes, great running backs, but I need the elite QB. You can always trade him away for an insanely high price, or you can just keep him. I totally disagree with this first one.
I disagree too, but what about this next one? Drake May.
See,
Who has a
tougher
chance
one.
to be a running quarterback 1 or 2 this season.
Yeah, had a great season last year. He's not going crazy high in drafts either, so it's not like he has the Josh Allen price tag to him. The take, I think, is that you can find the next Drake May. Like, the reason why Drake May was so good in fantasy last year is because in a redraft league, you got him in the 12th round. Mm-hmm. You're not doing that this year. So it's like, can I get Jaden Daniels this year, who's going to go way lower than his price was going into last season? Can I get Jalen Hurts, who's even going lower than Drake May is right now, which Jalen Hurts is consistently a top fantasy quarterback as well. I don't think he's a do not draft, though, right? Like, is he going to have a worse year? Maybe he'll have a slightly
Probably.
worse year, but
I think his 80, again, this is not supposed to be an ADP thing. I would not have him in the do not draft category at all. I would be a little bit weary of drafting him too high based on the season that he had last year, and all of a sudden he's projected to be the second quarterback. And taken.
like right now, is he going to finish as a top 5 fantasy quarterback this year?
I still think so.
Probably like a toss-up if he does, whether or not, though, you know?
I think it's
And
Allen.
he's drafted in the top 5. That's his issue.
Allen, May. You got to still have Lamar on there if he's playing games.
Mahomes, for the first time last year, like in a long time, had a great fantasy season.
Right,
Or
because
sorry, not this year, 2 years ago.
No, last year he
Oh,
had
no,
a
it
great
was last year
fantasy
before he got
season 'cause
hurt.
He kept
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
all the rushing touchdowns. That was he was their number one running back in addition to being
Right.
their quarterback.
But typically, he had a good 2-3 year stretch there where he was just not great in fantasy.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Jaden Daniels, another rookie. You know my stance on this,
A rookie?
or another quarterback. I mean, I'm pretty skeptical about Jaden Daniels and his ability to stay healthy. Last year, he only played in 7 games: knee injury, wrist injury, hamstring injury, elbow injury. So there's that. He can't slide, which is proven to be problematic. He takes big hits. But with how far he's probably going down in draft boards, this could be one of those like, oh, he stayed healthy and he won me my league. That's very much on the table. Look, there's 2 different ways you can address a fantasy football redraft. Not losing, and people who have lost leagues before and have done punishments usually have PTSD and take that route. And if you're one of those people, I would not be drafting Jaden Daniels. If you don't care about losing and you're drafting to win the league, Jaden Daniels has the upside to take him.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in on taking Daniels this year. He's right in the mix with like the Hurts and Drake May, Joe Burrow. May's a little higher, but he's in the Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts kind of group of guys right now. And I'm just willing to take the risk because quarterback is replaceable at the end of the day, unless you're taking Josh Allen. Then you're kind of screwing yourself a little bit. But
if he's replaceable, wouldn't that be more reason to not take him?
he's replaceable, but I'm saying like if he gets injured.
Oh.
He has a higher ceiling than a guy like Hurts does. And maybe Burrow. Burrow has a pretty high ceiling, though, too.
Running back Christian McCaffrey led the league in touches last year, over 400, 900 snaps. Running back 1 last season, over 400 fantasy points. I mean, this is another one of those guys that
Yeah.
if you draft him thinking that you can win the league. You can't draft someone based on you're scared of them getting hurt, because if you're doing that, you're not drafting to win the league. However, he happens to play where there's an electromagnetic field that is zapping people left and
Yeah.
right now. I'm all set.
The electronic substation has been taking a lot of victims already in Santa Clara.
Have you followed the Twitter page?
Oh, yeah. It's
hilarious.
It's a pretty funny Twitter page. I mean, not funny for 49ers fans, of course, but it is pretty funny overall. I feel like the McCaffrey, it doesn't matter as a this season thing. Everyone just has their opinion on McCaffrey. I've always been a guy in redraft that, like, I'm not gonna be the guy that takes McCaffrey.
And last year, he totally should have.
I totally should have, but I'm always gonna be, I'll let somebody else take him. And I'm probably gonna do the same thing this year. So I agree. Relying on him to have back-to-back healthy years when everyone else is getting injured, I can't do it. Even though he was healthy 2 years in a row coming into this season. So
Kenneth Walker, how about this? There's been a lot of Chiefs running backs that have, you got to take this guy, like Pacheco. Now it's Pacheco. Now it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now it's Kenneth Walker. And more often than not, the Chiefs running backs just end up disappointing.
They do. And Kenneth Walker is going high. Like, he's a third-round pick right now.
I'm good. I agree with ESPN here.
It's a lot higher than he was going in Seattle. And I get, the split he had going in Seattle. No, I agree with them here as well. I'm not taking K9.
I'm not taking him
the
either.
Chiefs RBs are just, they've always been 3 guys running back there. They don't even hand it off that much.
There's also not really a ton of evidence that he can be a bell cow back because he hasn't done it yet. Not to say he can't.
I mean, he has shown it. Like in the games where Charbonnet was out, they would do it.
But for a full season, we'll see. All right, let's get some wide receivers in here. How about another Chief? Rashee Rice they have as a do not draft type of guy.
Oh, I wonder why.
Because he could be arrested at any point. Because he could be in jail at any point. Because he could be on probation. Oh, wait, no.
Right. He already served a 6-game suspension last year. I don't think there's anything coming for him suspension-wise, but he's gotten into like 2 different incidents this offseason.
Yeah, this is all about your morals.
On top of the car crash thing.
If you have high morals, you don't take Rashee Rice.
Now, Rashee Rice was great when he came back last year. So that's, a reason why you would want to take him. I think that's another guy I'm just all set on, though. I think I'll just pass on Rashee Rice. I don't really want to have to deal with all of the question marks that come with that guy.
Mahomes has also never over-targeted one person. Kelsey still exists, which, unfortunately...
he kind of did when he came back, though, last year.
With Rice?
Yeah, Rashee Rice didn't have a game under 8 targets last year.
Really?
Yeah, when he came back.
I still would pass. There's just too much question marks around him.
I think I would, too.
How about another wide receiver, A.J. Brown? They have him as a do-not-draft type of guy. I don't know, man. I think A.J. Brown is poised for a potential top 5, top 6 wide receiver season with Drake May. Because if you can get that stack, oh, my God.
Well, and his price is the same. He's going in the mid-3rd round right now, kind of late 3rd round.
A.J. Brown is?
Yeah, that's his price when he was in Philly. He was going late 2nd round.
If you could somehow
3rd.
land A.J. Brown in the 3rd and Drake May in
that's a great stack.
In the turn.
Now, I think the take would be...
Sign me up.
There wasn't a wide receiver. Diggs last year was a maybe flex play in New England. So, that could be the take is that Drake May last year, his whole thing was he threw to 6 different receivers every game. They had so many different guys.
And Mike Vrabel is very conservative when he has the lead. Trusts his defense, runs the ball a lot.
Well, now they probably won't have the lead as much this year as they had last season.
True.
I like A.J. Brown. I think he's going at a solid spot. I'm totally all in on A.J. Brown this season.
Yeah, me too.
They traded a 1st-round pick for him.
Yeah, they're not just going to not use him. How about this one? Marvin Harrison. Perhaps the biggest question mark that exists in fantasy football drafts right now.
Oh, well, I'd be doomed by Marv again. I drafted him one of my leagues last year. Obviously, he sucked. He's going really low. He's going in the 9th round. So that's the perspective. You could be what am I going to have a bad draft pick in the 9th round? This guy's not even a starter.
I think if you're going the perspective of, hey, I already have my wide receiver 1 and 2 and a running back here,
it's a potential high ceiling play.
Correct.
Now, you know who's going right near Marvin Harrison in redrafts?
Who?
Michael Wilson. I might just take him because he's probably going to be better. Because he was for the whole season when Jacoby Brissett played quarterback last year.
How long is Jacoby Brissett going to play? Well, I guess he did get his $14 million.
But, at some point they might play Carson Beck. There's really no reason not to.
I
don't think I'm drafting
I wouldn't
Marv.
reach on Marvin Harrison, but I don't think he's a do-not-draft guy. but I'm certainly not taking him above his ADP. Only if he
just like
falls.
looking at his fantasy log from last season,
terrible.
dude. Oh, it's so bad.
And the videos from training camp are not doing him any favors. A lot of dropped balls again. All right, that's around the league. 989-837-6125. If you're looking for financial advice that actually makes sense, meet Doug Cellini of Kingsview Partners right here in Midland. Former teacher and coach, Doug breaks down all the complicated stuff and makes it easy for people to understand. He helps families and professionals build clear game plans with their money so you can move forward with confidence and not confusion. That's Doug Cellini, Kingsview Partners right here in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
I'm still somewhat devastated about this Cade Mays injury. This is like, I mean, it's not the worst news we could have gotten. I can certainly think of worse stuff that could have come from Dan Campbell's press conference today. But again, this is probably the best non-Pro Bowler that could have went down. And I mean best in terms of like the worst guy that could have gone down as a non-Pro Bowl guy on this team. 8 to 10 weeks, we think Cade Mays is going to be out with a wrist injury, so the Lions are going to lose their starting center. I would guess that means he's coming back around the bye. 8 to 10 weeks, they've got a week 6 bye. They've got a month until the season starts. Probably just coming back week 7. So it's better than having that injury come back way later in the season. It's better than having, him get hurt at the very end and all of a sudden, he's done for the playoffs. But yeah, not a great way to start your Monday when you hear from your head coach that one of your starters is going to be out for 8 to 10 weeks. I hate that for the Lions. I hate that for Jared Goff. I hate that for Jahmyr Gibbs. And all of a sudden, I've got to kind of readjust to what I think this offensive line is going to look like, because that was the one guy they brought in free agency who was supposed to make a big-time change to the offensive line. And to the team in general. Like, they only handed out one multi-year contract in free agency, and it was Cade Mays for 3 years, $25 million. And now all of a sudden they're losing that player for the next 10 weeks, and he'll be out of the starting lineup for the first few weeks of the season. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, you want to talk about do not draft list. Does this mean you can't draft Jahmyr Gibbs?
No, I don't think so. I think even with Cade Mays being out, you still want to take Jahmyr Gibbs as the 1.01. He still scored a ton of touchdowns last year.
This impacts Gibbs probably more than anyone, right?
Yes, but it's not like it's only 6 games.
I mean, we're just assuming that.
Correct. Yeah. But like worst case scenario, it's 6 games. If it's 8 to 10 weeks, you get a week 6 bye. You got a month until the season starts. 10 weeks puts you right at the bye, and then you're coming back afterwards. I think that's safe to assume, but I do think you're right that Jahmyr Gibbs is impacted by this. However, he had Graham Glasgow's corpse blocking for him last year and still was near the top of the league in touchdowns. Like, I still think he'll get his touches. It's just the yards per carry. Can you do the 3rd and 1 stuff now becomes a little bit concerning. The 3rd and inches, can we just run it up the gut like they were able to do for so long when Frank Ragnow was at the helm at the center position? Now all of a sudden that once again is, I don't know. Can they just run it up the gut and it's a guaranteed first down? I have no idea.
Yeah, Michael in our YouTube chat saying, center's probably the worst position besides quarterback to lose due to the lack of available options for a replacement. Which is true, because you saw some of those replacements that the Lions had last year. I mean, they were terrible. They could not find a steady option at center last season, and now they have to try to find somebody now, which is going to be difficult to do with 3 weeks before the season to start.
I think it's Juice Scruggs. I think the Lions feel pretty confident that they got Juice Scruggs. Like, they traded away Montgomery for a 4th-round pick, and that could have been the deal, and it would have been fine. The fact that they got Juice Scruggs back, we said it at the time. It's like, oh, this is just like another offensive lineman to have on the roster and come compete. And right away they were like, well, yeah, this guy can play center, this guy can play left guard, this guy can play right guard, and that's exactly what he's been doing in camp, repping in all 3 spots. I think they're going to feel pretty comfortable with Juice as their step in center for now. Now it's just a matter of, nobody else can get hurt. Yeah, that's his main position. That's where he's been repping the most during camp. So it's not, again, like, this could be worse. But now they are in a spot where, like, nobody else on the offensive line can get hurt. Nobody else. That would be a detriment if somebody else got hurt.
That's what I was going to say. Because, ultimately this isn't that bad if it's just this. But it's never just this.
Never is.
Last year's injuries, they just continue to pile up over and over again. This is starting before the season has even started. This is starting before preseason has even started. And we're already getting, like, this impactful of an injury. We were just talking about the luck factor at the beginning of the 10 o'clock hour. Kiss that goodbye. That changing this season is already gone.
Maybe the Lions should call Frank Ragnow.
I don't see what's the harm in it. Like, He could say no. Okay, cool. This is different than last season. Last season, it was like, hey, our center options are so bad. We need you to come back in the middle of the season and be the center for a playoff run. And then clearly didn't work out. This is like, hey, you've got a good amount of weeks here to get yourself ready. All we need you for is 5 games. We need you for 5 games. And if it's you're totally beat up by week 6, that's fine because we just need you for 5 games. I think it should be an option.
Yeah. Now, it's kind of hard to tell, like, someone as great as Frank Ragnow, who's a Ring of Honor guy, like, hey, do you want to play for 5 games? And then if you're good, sorry,
sure?
your job's just gone.
But I think the whole thing with him is he cannot last a full season. And that's why he joined them in Thanksgiving last year, whenever it was. Or other than being there at the beginning of the year. Like, this is a realistic option. Hey, we know you can't make it a full season. We need you for 5 games. Let's do it. It shouldn't be that much of a learning process to get back into it, right? I mean, it's just about him being healthy.
No, I would do it. They've also shut down that idea a couple of times, and Frank Ragnow has shut it down as well.
That was before Cade Mays got hurt.
I know.
And
I would do it too,
thing.
Kyle, but I just don't think it's actually realistic.
I think the fact that it happened once before means so much more than if it had never happened. Like, before Frank Ragnow had ever come out of retirement, even suggesting that just felt a little bit like he's given us no inkling that that's going to happen. The fact that one time before, less than a calendar year ago, it's been on his mind that, like, man, I do kind of want to come back to help this team. I think the fact that it has happened once makes it way more likely that it could happen twice. Teddy Bridgewater did that.
I'm trying to find the quote from he had a quote earlier this offseason about how
when he went to camp. Yeah,
he was at the Lions facility. They were helping out with something. I think he was doing a camp or some charity event. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I'll try to find that during this upcoming break and share it with our audience in the 11 o'clock hour. Got to get back to the Tigers as well because are they hot? 7 straight series they've won on the road. That is a franchise record, and I'm going to tell you why. If they can win this homestand, they can win the American League when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
And would you look at that? We've made it to the 11 o'clock hour. The Detroit Tigers have arrived. The Tigers. 7 straight series they've won on the road. Just an incredible feat that this team has accomplished after having, I think at one point they were like 8-27 on the road, and it was like, oh, they're just never going to win a road series ever. And now they've won 7 straight, which ties a franchise record going back to the, I think it was late 80s. What a crazy stat that the Tigers have accomplished here. 7-2 on the road. They're the road warriors, man, which makes you feel pretty good about this team going forward, that they've shown the ability to win on the road. Now they've got the most important home stretch of the entire season, one that will dictate what their season looks like coming up here starting tomorrow with 2 series against Cleveland and the White Sox. This is an astronomically important series to dictate the rest of the season. And if they are able to win a playoff or this series, go 4-2, I'm telling you, I'm not going to be able to resist telling our audience that this is a team that can compete to win the AL. Not a team that could make the playoffs, because if they go 4-2, they're likely in a playoff spot. As soon as they get over that hump and actually get themselves into a playoff spot, I'm going to have a hard time telling our audience they shouldn't be thinking about this team as someone who can come out of the American League. Why, you ask? Why do you think this is a team that could come out of the American League? Because they've quietly become one of the best teams in the American League. Plus 87 run differential in the American League on the entire season. Best in the league. Since June 1st, plus 126, which is best by 37 runs in all of baseball. Since June 1st, they're 36-22. Since June 1st, they have a 2.93 ERA. That's first in baseball. Since June 1st, they have 93 home runs. First in baseball. They're killing everybody, man. 5 games in the past 12 games in which they've had an 8 or more runs to nothing shutout. They're killing teams. 782 OPS since June 1st. 4th in baseball. I don't really know how Major League Baseball calculates expected win-loss record, but what I do know is Detroit has an expected win-loss record of 68-50, which is the best in the American League. So they're just better than their record suggests that they are. Obviously, their bullpen has been spotty to say the least this year, but it's starting to heat up. Tyler Holton, since May 1st, 1.98 ERA. Maybe he should be pitching in more high-leverage situations. Kenley Jansen, he's been up and down this year, but guess what? In his last 11 appearances, a .87 ERA. He's starting to figure it out. Melton's obviously been pitching like an ace. Jackson Jobe hit the ground running. Cleveland, Minnesota, the White Sox, they're all falling apart. Can the Tigers win the American League, Kyle? I think if they can go 4-2, get themselves into a playoff spot, that all of a sudden becomes a realistic thing that we're talking about a week from today. But it requires them winning this homestand.
Got to beat a team you never beat first. And then obviously the division leaders in Chicago. I think a lot of this plays into whether or not they win the division or not too. Like that, I think I've gotten to a point with this Tigers season where if they do end up crawling all the way back and winning the division, I think I'm already locking this up as like, wow, like this is a dub of a season. This is a win. You traded away Skubal, you got value for him. You traded away Mize, you got value for him. And yet you still went on the run and won the division. You still made the big-time comeback. I think I would chalk this season up as a major win because guess what? They didn't win the division in the Skubal era. I know it kind of just gets blocked out of our memory, but yeah, they did blow it out last season. And the Gritty Tiger season, they just crawled into the playoffs as a wild card team. So they've had the last 2 years to play out of the wild card. I think they still would play out of the wild card here, but to do it as the home team, to do it as the division winner, I think would change a lot of things because you're not going to have to go up against any of those other teams that we may be a little bit nervous about as far as the playoffs go, like the Red Sox or the Yankees. I think that the Tigers winning the division, if they can get to that point, and obviously this week plays the biggest factor into this at all, that would be them setting themselves up pretty good for going on a run in the American League as far as playoff time comes.
I did not think we could get here.
No,
but
I was
now
super
I think the
against
sample size is large enough to be like, yeah, this is something that we can point to and feel pretty good about as fans.
Yeah, like I said it earlier, but I was just so pressed on moving past May. It's just, I understand they're playing good in June. Yeah, July went fine, but man, that team in May, it still exists. It's still there. The bullpen's still bad. And now it is very safe to say this is a pretty good baseball team, one of the better teams in all the American League, that just so happened to have one of the worst months possible. And it has affected their overall record, but they clearly are much more the team we've seen the last 2.5 months than the team that we saw for the month of May. No doubt about it. And at some point, that record is going to start to flip, because what is flipping is the run differential. Like you said, them having the best run differential in the entire league
Not
makes
just
no
for one
sense.
sample size, for the entire
For
year.
the whole year.
It's so bizarre.
Once again, there's been so much conversation about the American League having a down year this season. Oh, the AL, it's so bad, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's not great, and that is absolutely benefiting the Tigers here. Them having the best run differential in the whole American League, I can't believe that.
Mm-hmm. More than the Rays, who have been good all year, more than the Yankees, who have been good all year, more than the Red Sox, who have been the hottest team in the league
White
for
Sox.
2 months, White Sox as well. It is a bizarre situation that the Tigers find themselves in. Then again, isn't this exactly what we expected? It wouldn't be a Tiger season without the ups and downs and the tales of two halves. The only thing that has made sense about this team for 3 years in a row is that what's going to happen at the end of the season is not going to reflect what happened at the beginning of the season whatsoever. The Tigers embody more than every other team that you got to play a full 162 for it to actually dictate what your season's going to become. This I know every baseball team has a roller coaster season. The Tigers are riding a top thrill dragster every single year. It's
except for
all
other
the
than
ups
it
and all
being
the downs.
A 12-second ride, it's a 120,000-second ride. I got a fun question for you.
Hit me.
We're talking about run differentials here. The American League West has 0 teams with a positive run differential.
Smart.
We're always talking crap. Oh, the Central, it's so bad. The AL Central blows. No, the West does. What do you think the combined run differential is for the division as a whole?
Before I answer that, one more note on, the AL Central sucks. Oh, cool. Multiple playoff teams for the last 3 years, right?
Yeah, neither of them have really done anything, though.
Still.
Yeah, Cleveland went to the championship series 2 years ago.
The combined, if they're all negative, I mean, I would imagine the A's have a putrid one themselves. So, I'm going to guess something kind of crazy high, but maybe it's minus 190.
Yeah, the A's are minus 165 on their own.
Oh, God.
They're a minus 335 as a division.
Where are you seeing this? Just MLB standings?
I just added them up. Minus
That's
335. That's got to be some sort of a record. A division as a whole, a minus 335 run differential. We are in August.
They have one team above 500, and it's Houston, who's 60-59.
And are 30 games under run differential-wise, or 30 runs under.
Is that the new, just best? Is this is run differential? I don't know. What would you compare this to in football?
No, I don't think run differential's that big of a deal. It just it's a bigger deal than points scored versus allowed in football, sure, but it's more so a luck thing. A team's like Houston probably just has a lot of games where they don't win big, and when they lose, they lose. It's that simple. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I don't know, but I look in the American League or in the National League, which is just way more normal of a league this year compared to the goofy American League, and it's oh yeah, the 3 first place teams have the best run differentials in the in the National
huge
League.
Ones too.
That just makes sense because they're the best teams in the league.
And the teams around 500 have a run differential that is very close to 0.
I flip it back to a year ago, and nope, the American League's just still goofy, man. Every year the National League just makes more sense.
The Guardians went 14 games above 500 last year and had a negative run differential. 14 games above 500. How is that even possible?
I don't know. Is run differential like EPA in football? It's yeah, but this is what they should be doing. This is what they should be doing based on our expectations.
But the EPA is a projected stat, though.
Then maybe it's DVOA.
Run differential literally just is what is happening. There's no projection into it at all. It's just, hey, this is the results. And the Tigers, for example, them having now the best in the American League at a plus 87, simply just look at their last 3 series. 10-0, 11-0, 8-0, 8-0, 12-0. That obviously is going to juice their run differential stats. That number's probably going to go down this week.
Yeah. Yeah,
or it won't.
or it won't. Yeah, the fact that the National League has 4 teams with a plus 100, Cubs, Dodgers, Braves, Brewers. And then the American League has 0, with the Tigers leading the way at plus 87.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of that, honestly. It's just so bizarre. What do you think the Tigers' record is against teams above 500?
Oh, see, it's so hard to just do any Tigers record thing because the beginning of the year was so bad. I mean, how many games have they played against them? Like, I don't know how many games.
59.
59. I'm going to guess probably 29 and 30.
31 and 28, so not all that off. Not all that off.
They go into a week this week, which is the biggest week of all, which Cleveland is no longer above 500 because they've been terrible as well, but the White Sox still are. Did you see the clip of the White Sox this weekend, by the way, with Noah Schultz on the mound? He got pulled from the game because they did 2 mound visits in the same inning, and so they were forced to pull him from the game because they overused the mound visits.
No, I did not see this.
Yeah, in like the second inning.
But I did see...
That team is an unserious baseball team.
Yeah. I did see somebody... Who was it that got tossed before the game had even started?
Ooh,
Chris
I didn't
Sale.
see that.
Chris Sale got tossed before the game started because he was arguing with the umpires about a call that happened the previous day still.
Really?
Yeah, and they tossed him as they walked onto the
That's
field.
That's next level arguing right there.
Yeah, still upset about it a day later.
The best is the one
there was
clip,
a balk that then ended up scoring a run, and he was all pissed about it.
The one clip, I think it was Jim Leland. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Leland, where
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
they were just going at it with the umpire, but then they had to do it was in the middle of the game, and I think they did like God Bless America to
that's
honor
exactly
a veteran.
what it is.
So they're like sitting here just like ripping into each other. Then they both take off their hats, look at the flag, and then the second it's over, they throw the hats back on and just get right back to it.
We are losing a little bit of
that's
that in
so
baseball
good.
due to the ABS challenge. We are losing a little bit of the managers just losing their minds on people. I guess I think we were losing that before ABS. ABS just kind of like was a nail in the coffin of it because we don't have too many old school, like, these guys are just nuts managers. Everybody's by the books. Everybody's by the X's and O's. Everybody's watching their iPads. A little bit more analytical driven now.
Younger guys in general, too.
Yeah, guys who know how to keep their cool. I miss the Jim Leland types. The guys who at any given moment could just go blow up the umpire.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what
with
baseball is all about. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, but the 11 o'clock hour is presented by Yeiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yeiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yeiter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That's Yetter Insurance Group. They'll be there when you need them since 1940. I should also tell you this. Specialty Infusion Center, they're coming to Midland. Opening mid-July, their experienced team provides personalized infusion care to private, comfortable suites with infusion verification, referral support, and even home infusions when appropriate. They're accepting new patients now, so call 989-214-4998 or visit specialtyinfusioncenter.com to learn more.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Unfortunately, we provide you a very sad update. Guess what? Cade Mays, starting center for the Detroit Lions, is going to be missing 8 to 10 weeks. Probably the worst guy who could have gotten hurt that's not like a Pro Bowl guy like Penei Sewell or Amon-Ra or Jared Goff. Of all the guys who have never been named a Pro Bowl or an All-Pro, this is probably the worst person that could have gotten hurt. Maybe Blake Miller's in that group, perhaps, but you also have Larry Borum, who's got the starting experience at right tackle. I think Cade Mays is number one, though, especially coming from the interior. The last place you want pressure as a quarterback is from up the middle. You can at least see it from the right side. If like Blake Miller would have got hurt and he's constantly giving up pressure, you can at least see it from over there coming. There's not a whole lot you can hurt for 8 to 10 weeks, which puts him out about until the bye, which is week 6. Yeah, really, really unfortunate. Now, there's a chance he could be back before then. But really, really, really unfortunate injury to be provided by Dan Campbell. Like even Jameson Williams, who's never been named a Pro Bowl or All-Pro guy, they could survive without him more than they can survive without Cade Mays because they've got other options as weapons. They've got Amon-Ra, they've got Laporta.
Kind of in the same boat. Like, yeah, it would certainly hurt to lose McNeil, but
at least you got Tyleik Williams.
Right.
This is one of those that's like, oh no, this might be bad if he's.
Yeah.
Now, luckily they don't play anybody good other than the Bills for the first 5 weeks of the season. It's a bunch of bottom feeders and doormats of the NFL of each of their divisions. But nonetheless, it's not good to lose a starter of that importance, and a position in which you were forced to address it in free agency because of how poor the play was. Never a good sign when that player gets hurt right away when the season starts.
Biggest loser of the Cade Mays injury news. I give you 4 options: Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff, Drew Petzing, or Frank Ragnow.
Why would
Here's
Frank
my case.
Ragnow be a loser?
You want to know why he's a loser? Because everyone's mind is going exactly where we thought. Oh, Frank Ragnow, give him a call. And then when he ultimately doesn't, we're all going to be mad at him.
Yeah. No,
Come on,
that's
Frank
a good case.
Ragnow. Seriously, you're not going to come help the team for 5 weeks? You kidding me? Everyone's going to be mad at him. And he's like, what do I do? I'm just like chilling. I'm retired. Why is everyone mad at me?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. Drew Petzing, because, hey, when this offensive line stinks for the first 5 weeks, we're going to be like, oh, great. Offensive coordinator hire did not work out again. When really, Cade Mays is just injured. Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously, pretty, we know why he would be a loser of the Cade Mays thing.
Yeah, I
Same
think
thing
it's
for
just
Jared
Jahmyr
Goff.
Gibbs. Actually, I take it back. I think it's Jared Goff. You cannot have pressure coming up from you, like coming up the middle. It's impossible to succeed as a quarterback if you've got pressure coming from the interior. You can't go anywhere, especially Jared Goff, who's not, I don't know if you know this, Kyle, not a mobile quarterback all that much.
Yeah, and I hate it about him.
It means he can't be good.
Yeah.
It means the Lions can't win it. It's so funny.
Yeah, he might
like,
have great stats every single year and, like, really good quarterback, but the fact that he can't have, like, a 3-yard scramble, I just,
yeah, it's not fun.
boils my blood. I do want to say, though, I saw some people saying this in the YouTube chat. Art says, knowing Brad Holmes, I bet they've called Graham Glasgow. That's probably what this is going to end up being, right?
No,
Rather than a Frank Ragnow return, is it just going to be a Glasgow return? Which sounds way worse.
No.
He's
Is he on a
just
team?
available, right? I don't think anybody signed him.
There's a reason that guy's available.
Well, yeah.
He
Did he
stunk
retire,
last
though?
year.
I think he might have retired.
No, he didn't retire. He got released from the Lions. There's no way you can bring a released player back. It's just going to be Juice Scruggs.
But yeah, but they're going to bring somebody in probably, right?
I mean, they have 90 guys on the roster right now. They got to make cuts at some point.
Yeah,
I don't
cut
think
all
they-
these other scrubs and keep Scruggs.
Let me see. Let me look at the depth chart right now because I still think
Obviously, there's some free agent centers out there, but they're out there for a reason,
no, they're going to have, okay, here's what it's going to be. Now, I think Frazier's got a chance of starting at center now.
Oh,
Juice Scruggs
really?
has a chance at starting at center now. And then Ben Barch is here too, who Dan Campbell continues to praise even though he's barely practiced because he's been hurt. Those, I think, are your 3 guys that are competing now to win the starting center job. Ben Barch, Juice Scruggs, and Miles Frazier.
Yeah, Scruggs feels most likely.
I agree.
A guy who was actually acquired, has some experience playing there.
And when they traded David Montgomery, they probably knew that he was going to be like they knew that they were going to be releasing Graham Glasgow at that point anyway, right? So they were like, let's bring in a guy who we think can compete to play center, even if we don't think he's going to be the starter and we're going to go pay somebody else
And
to do
correct me
it.
if I'm wrong, that was pre-Cade Mays signing, right?
Yeah, the Montgomery injury.
The Montgomery trade was pre-free agency. Yeah, for sure was.
The Montgomery trade happened on March 2nd, which is right before free agency kicked off, March 11th. So, yeah. Haven't done anything wrong yet?
Yeah, what do we diss him? I mean, he's a backup offensive lineman.
He's got a great name.
Can't diss him that hard. He's a backup.
Yeah. He's back up for a reason.
I don't feel bad.
Cade May's out 8 to 10 weeks, though, so I think it would be luck if we saw him before the bye, which is week 6. Now, fortunately, they play a bunch of bottom feeders. That's where we're at. 989-837-6125. The Greater Midland Community Center is your hub for health, wellness, and fun right here in the heart of Midland. From fitness classes and open gym to swimming, youth sports, and family activities, there's something for everyone. Affordable memberships, expert staff, and a welcoming space for all ages and abilities. If you're hosting an event, ask about their rental space and full event support. Stay active, stay connected, all under one roof at the Greater Midland Community Center. Learn more or sign up today.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back into the show. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. We were talking the Cade Mays injury. One thing we hadn't brought up yet, Kyle, there's another player on the team that has very briefly had some experience at the starting, or not at the starting level, but playing center. Very, very brief. About as brief as it can possibly be. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Tate Ratledge?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that a little bit.
Remember they tried repping him at training camp as in rookie mini camp? And then maybe they did that in training camp for like a day, and they were like, yeah, no, we're all good here.
Yeah, and if he's not like, if the still a long-term answer is to play him at guard, I don't think it's probably the right idea to have him start at center for 5 games. But, and also, too, then that means you have a rookie right tackle paired to a backup right guard, whoever is replacing Tate Ratledge there.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of sketch.
Time will tell on what they do on their offensive line. Until then, let us hit the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
Okay,
hey, Kyle.
News time.
Hey.
More Lions injury news, looking at the Covenant Healthcare Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Report. Dan Campbell yesterday telling us, so at least we got some positive news. It's kind of old news at this point, telling us that DJ Reed's groin injury is considered not serious, and they're not worried about it, which is good. If they lost a starting corner, I think he's up there for non-Pro Bowl guys that if they got hurt, it would really suck. He might be number 2, honestly. I forgot about him when we were thinking of those guys. So need DJ Reed to be healthy, and it sounds like he's going to be okay. Also looking at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. The Loons went 4-2 on the road this week in Dayton. They are tied atop the Midwest League East for first with the West Michigan Whitecaps, who have added a couple new pitchers to their rotation, a part of the trades that they made at the deadline. Loons are back at home this week, though. They host the South Bend Cubs for 6. Come on out to Dow Diamond Tuesday through Sunday. 7:05 first pitches all week, 1:05 on Sunday. Okay, here's some fun news. Ben Simmons.
The guy who doesn't play basketball?
He's making a comeback. He is set for the Australia National Team mini camp, which is just a camp that they're having to prepare for next year. But still, Ben Simmons is going to be there, and he is talking about making a comeback to the NBA.
What the hell does that even mean?
He's making a comeback.
No, he's not. I'd be shocked if any team. What team wants a power forward who can't?
What even is he?
I don't. That's the thing. Like, what? He's a ball dominant power forward who can't score the ball. Who wants that? I don't think anybody wants that in today's NBA.
Didn't play in the league at all last year. He sat out the entire season. Was not on a team last year.
I think the only way it works is if he's playing center. I think that's where we've shifted.
Can he play center? Maybe he's the Pistons starting center if Jalen Duren doesn't come back?
6'10", a little bit undersized.
Yeah, I don't know. We always get the fun Ben Simmons offseason stuff, so I thought that would be funny to go over. Another thing that was interesting yesterday in the Tigers-Giants game, both Jason Foley and Dylan Smith pitching for the Giants. And boy, Dylan Smith, he struck out the side. He's been a pretty good relief option for the Giants this season. Would have been nice, of course, to have him with the Tigers, but they traded him for cash considerations to San Francisco right at the beginning of the season. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. I noticed that. People were talking about it yesterday. It might be nice to still have Dylan Smith here, but there wasn't like a ton of reason to really buy into Dylan Smith when he was pitching for the Tigers. He wasn't that good.
Yeah, I don't think that this is anything like Scott Harris. What a bad play.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Speaking of injured offensive linemen, we've been talking about it with Cade Mays. Well, the Washington Commanders might have gotten hit with worse news. Laramie Tunsil, torn triceps. They expect him to miss a lot of, if not all, of the regular season. This is brutal news for a Commanders team that dealt with a ton of injuries last year. And to have this news happen early, torn triceps, that sounds very painful. Maybe Taylor Decker is their option. He's got to be towards the top of the list, right? I mean, he's a free agent right now. Nobody's signed him.
I'm not laughing at your idea that Taylor's probably next up. I'm laughing at the idea that the Commander season is over if Taylor Decker is their starting.
Well, I think it's probably
tackle.
just over that Laramie Tunsil is out for them anyways.
Correct.
You know? So, brutal news for the Commanders. As far as the Lions tackle, Dan Campbell says that they expect first-round pick Blake Miller to play Thursday in Cincinnati in Detroit's first preseason game. Jared Goff will not play in the preseason opener. I don't think that that's a shock to anyone, but it's going to be fun to watch Blake Miller out there. It's different than when you had like Tesla or some defensive guy. It's like, I'm going to hone in on the right tackle and see what he looks like. That's just always going to be kind of fun. Other news with the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs speaking for the first time this weekend since signing his extension with Detroit. He says, quote, "Since I've been here, all I can say is positive things. The people, there's a lot of good food, the culture, and the extension obviously keeps him up locked through 2030. Says, I love being here. I'm so glad I get to be here for the next 5 years. Heck yeah. We're happy to have you here too, Jahmyr Gibbs. They also have a new player, and it's Josh Dobbs, the backup quarterback signed for the Lions after Teddy Bridgewater retires. Josh Dobbs had some fun moments in his time. It doesn't mean he's guaranteed to be the Lions' backup quarterback by any means, but they have added him to the quarterback room. They also added to the cornerback room. Trayvon Diggs was a tryout for the Lions this weekend. Boy, I haven't heard from Trayvon Diggs in quite some time. Once upon a time, he led the NFL in picks.
Yeah, he's never really been the same since he came back from his ACL injury. He was on the Packers for like 2 weeks last year, and they ended up releasing him. I think this is a bigger name than it is
for sure
a player to add, which is probably why I'm staying away from this. But whatever. It gets Lions fans excited to hear the name, so throw him a bone.
Yeah. Maybe he'll make it. I mean, it's not like their cornerback room is kind of deep for them not having a lot of top talent. So that's kind of the weird part about all of this. Speaking of other NFL stuff going on, I teased it earlier, but Kirk Cousins and Max Crosby got into a scuffle this weekend.
Yeah.
I need the film of this. I need it so bad.
How does TMZ not have this yet?
Both of them were suspended from practice the next day because of it. Kirk Cousins, like, how does he get into a scuffle with anybody?
Oh, don't hit a quarterback in practice. I'm siding with Kirk Cousins here. You do not do this to quarterbacks in practice.
I need to see it, though.
I know. How does TMZ not have somebody in the Raiders organization that's willing to hand this over for like an undisclosed amount of money and in a private, like undisclosed, your name won't get leaked as well. You get to stay.
Who knows, though? Maybe this will result in the Raiders maybe looking to move Max Crosby to the Lions.
Stop it. Okay, I saw this too.
I only said that because I resaw this conversation this weekend.
I know. It's like, oh, what if like Max Crosby gets traded now? Should the Lions go get him? It's like, okay, you want to trade for the guy who A, just punched his quarterback in the face. No thanks. B, you want to trade for the guy who failed a physical so badly
the trade
that
literally got vetoed.
Got vetoed because the Ravens decided they found something that they didn't want to go through with. Ravens, very smart organization, by the way. They found out something was so wrong with his knee that they weren't willing to take the gamble. You want to trade for that guy who just punched his quarterback?
Who's making 30 M's and you just paid Jahmyr Gibbs the highest paid running back contract ever?
I'm out. No, thank you.
There's a lot of more good or bads than good. Now, Crosby's a tremendous player. I like Max Crosby. He's one of my more fun players to watch in the league, but certainly not going to do all of that to get him because I don't even know what the price tag would be. Yeah, just way too much going on there.
No,
I just need to see the video. I need to see the Kirk versus Crosby showdown. Whatever happened, I got to see it. And hopefully we get it at some point.
Shout out to Kirk Cousins because you know for a fact you're losing that fight.
100%.
And he's not afraid. He's unafraid.
He's setting a good example for Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza probably would have went up to Crosby and been like, nice hit, Max. Nice play, Max. You know, that's probably would have been his reaction. Okay, Chicago Bears wide receiver Luther Burden is expected to miss the preseason due to a strained groin injury that he suffered this weekend. Ben Johnson announcing that he believes he should be back for the team's regular season opener versus the Panthers, but still one of the pass catchers for the Bears going down with an injury this weekend as well. Not the best sign in the world. We'll close the news with this. We already talked about Jose Briseño going to AAA. That's big-time stuff. Very excited for his debut at Toledo. The FedEx Cup starts this week in PGA golf, and some fun news with this. Jackson Koivin, the 21-year-old who won, I can't remember which PGA event a couple years ago, he qualified for the playoffs through 6 PGA events. That's it. It's the second fewest PGA events participated in a season to qualify for the playoffs since 2007 when the FedEx Cup started. Tiger Woods being the only other one to do so. in 2019-2020 season. So 21-year-old Jackson Koiven has been a big-time story in golf this year, and he continues to make it the FedEx St. Jude part of the 3-round series of playoffs starting this week.
Imagine if in like the
golf.
college football playoffs, once this thing gets expanded to 24 games, it was like, oh yeah, we won our X amount of games to get in the playoffs. We can take them off now. We don't have to win anymore.
Wait, what?
Because like this guy only played an X amount of PGA events, right?
Oh, yeah, it's just because he was so good. Yeah,
I know. Crazy storyline. That's fun going into the playoffs.
it is, yeah. Okay, that's all I got.
All right, that's the news. Slow weekend. One of the
Not-
last
not
slow
a lot
weekends we
not
got.
a lot going on in the news, yeah.
This is, I mean, I think we have. Do you know we're less than a month away from week 1 of college football?
Yeah.
We really only have
Wait,
two
what about
more
week 0?
slow
You talking about week
weekends.
1 or week 0?
I was talking week 1, but I don't even. What are the week 0 games this year? Saturday, August 29th, we've got North
TCU,
Carolina versus TCU.
yeah.
We've got San Jose State
There's one
versus.
overseas, isn't there? I thought they had one overseas
yeah.
again.
It's North Carolina and TCU
Oh, okay, yeah.
in Dublin, and then Michigan and Western was supposed to be.
That's right. Yeah, there
Yeah.
really is not actually a lot of week 0. The week 0 slate is kind of weak this year. Hawaii, Stanford.
Yeah, the USC game's a 38-point spread. Usually there's like one staple game, but like
NC State, Virginia.
it's tough.
They're playing a conference game in week 0. That's pretty ridiculous.
5.5-point spread. I think the TCU one's probably the best one
For sure it is.
because it kicks off everything. That's this month. That's 3 weeks from now. We're 3 weeks away from week 0. Can you believe that?
Crazy.
So we really only have 2 more slow weekends. We just need something to happen those 2 weekends. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mid. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Hey, when the seasons change, Maple Hill Nursery is hard at work for you. They offer mowing services in the summer, spring and fall cleanup. You might need that coming up here. They've got your yard looking best year round. When things start to get really cold, they've got their snow plow services to keep your driveway clear. They are your all-season lawn and landscape partner right here in Midland from winter, spring, fall, summer, whatever season it is. You can count on Maple Hill Nursery here in Midland.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
funny, girl. Come on.
Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
All right, welcome back into the show. We've got 3 traditions to close out every single show the rest of the way. Here's what we got. It's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Limited options today. No Tigers are on. I'm going with a different baseball game. I'm going with the Brewers money line at -110. They've been one of the hottest teams in the league. Really just one of the best teams in the league all year, and they're going up against the Padres.
The best, yeah.
Going up against the Padres with none other than our very own, formerly very own, Casey Mize on the mound today. Kyle, Casey Mize in his debut for the Padres. It didn't go very well. They were pretty upset with the man that they traded their former first-round pick for. The fastball wasn't up there. The velocity was down, giving up a bunch of hits. I'm just hopping on the train. I think it's going to happen again. So I'm taking the Brewers money line here. Logan Henderson on the mound for them. He's 6-1 this year with a 2.7 ERA. A lot of things going in favor of the Brewers. I'm surprised this isn't higher in terms of the odds. -110 feels like a little bit of a bargain.
Maybe just because it's on the West Coast, like the Brewers are the road team. You know, maybe that's got something to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a fun pitching matchup from a Tigers perspective. Casey Mize, of course, versus Logan Henderson, who is famously the guy that the Brewers were unwilling to include in the Skubal package at the deadline this year.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers wanted Henderson. The Brewers hung up the phone, and so the Tigers were like, all right, we'll trade him to the Dodgers, I guess. So, yeah, this is a pretty fun matchup here. I think I like your Brewers take. Like, I'm rooting for Mize. It's not like Skubal. I'd like for him to do good, but
I'm just zagging on it.
the Brewers are pretty good. They've dealt with a couple injuries. A couple of their young guys are dealing with injuries right now, so their lineup is not at full strength. But, yeah, I think I'm just rocking with you here.
It was one thing if you got lit up yesterday, but the velocity being as down as it was, that's what's kind of concerning about the first Casey Mize start, right, for the Padres.
Gotta be. Yeah. I mean, and that's what the concern was in his last start with the Tigers. You know, like a lot of people said, they didn't pitch him in that last start so he doesn't get injured. Sure, I think it was also so he didn't have back-to-back games of like, whoa, the velocity is way down.
Yeah,
that's like a huge red flag.
Or he was injured and is injured.
That could be it.
So I'm going with the Brewers' money line today as my lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Next tradition we have. Game of the day.
Game of the day.
Scooble Bump Day.
It is a Scooble Bump Day. That's
Scooble
probably
Bump Day.
still got to be what it is. Although that's a late game, man.
10-10. Scooble LA debut, though. In LA.
Or, no, you know what? I got a different one. Kyle, you know what season it is, right?
What season it is?
Mm-hmm. It's scoreboard watching season.
Oh.
You know, when you're as lucky as you are to be in a playoff spot. Or at least contending to be in a playoff spot. Sometimes you have to go to a dark place.
Scoreboard watching.
And that requires you to look elsewhere. It requires you to do things that are dirty.
Scoreboard watching.
Instead of focusing on yourself, you start to look at other teams and what they're doing, and we call that
Scoreboard watching.
and that's what we're doing today for our game of the day.
Wow. So where are you going then?
I am going to go with
Who are we watching? I mean, we're
the
watching
Baltimore Orioles and the Minnesota Twins. That's what it's going to have to be.
Oh, the Twins?
Yeah.
I guess the Orioles are kind of in the mix as well, too.
Yeah. Those are it's the only matchup with two teams that are in the race. And
Dean Creamer got sent to the Twins from the Orioles, too, at the deadline.
There we go. Nice little storyline there. Got to do it. It's a dark place.
We're at that point of the year,
It's a dark thing to do.
We're going to continue to do it.
Baltimore and Minnesota. That's our game of the day.
Game of the day.
I got 2 words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must see TV.
All right. The last thing that we have to do is
Wait, so is scoreboard watching part of the traditions now? Is it now 4 traditions?
it
to
might
close every
be.
show?
It might be.
Like at least for the next couple months,
Might
it's
just
gotta
be a segment, honestly.
It's pretty good, man. Can Taylor Decker play center? We got that as a YouTube chat.
No. No. Last thing we got to do is predict what Colin Cowherd's going to open up his show with. Slow weekend, kind of up for grabs right now
really
in terms
up
of
in
what's
the
going to
air.
happen.
It's my turn to go first. Nobody got a point Friday because on Friday we both were like, is he going to lead with Carson Beck? And then we were like, no. And then he actually did. He did a whole thing of, Carson Beck, he played 6 years in college. That's why he's ready. Sure, yeah. Okay, my turn to go first today. 68-67. Ben has the lead. It's been that score for like a week now. Did anything happen this weekend that I'm just like completely blanking on? Like nationally?
Not really.
Not really. Scooble starting again.
Slow week.
Like the Dodgers. Like, is there I don't think there's a baseball league. I think we're just going to go to football here. I think we're going to go to football. I'm going to go with Caleb Williams and the Bears.
Not bad.
I got nothing.
I don't really have much either. Think he goes House of Dragons lead? House of the Dragons lead?
Sure. Like, there's nothing basketball going on. It has to be it's just a football league. He's going to pick a football team and rock with it.
I'll go with the Chiefs. Why not? I don't really have a better guess. Same reason you picked.
Yeah. Couple bad choices today.
Actually,
Oh.
I'll go Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
No one's
I think
talking
I
about
like that
Seattle.
more.
This is the Hard Knocks team. No one believes in them still. What do they have to do to get people believing? They have Sam Darnold, for crying out loud, who's been amazing.
Today is kind of like a get in your bag Colin day. It's a Monday, too. Like, Monday's usually pretty easy. Something happened. There isn't anything today. I'm kind of interested to see what this is going to be.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what it's going to be as well. There we go. That's the show for you today. Appreciate everybody for listening. We will be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Like and subscribe on YouTube. I saw over the weekend, Kyle, that the YouTube subscriber count hit 1.7K. So pretty awesome to see. 300 subscribers away from 2,000. So would appreciate it if you are not subscribed yet to go search 100.9 The Mitt and hit that subscribe button. Smash it, if you will. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We'll see you guys then. Peace.
The Ben Bosscher